Welcome to Mendezville Live, where it's something to talk about. Here is Rudy Mendez. What's going on, Mendezville Live? Welcome to the show. Another show. I got a good one for you today. Oh, man, I should have done this setup before. But either way, we got a good one for you today. Today's broadcast is brought to you by my distribution, For Life, Together Building People. You can find supplements at forlife.com/Rudy Mendez. Help you out with those transfer factor molecules. We're also brought to you by Mendez Sports Training. I train young athletes with speed and different sports skills. All right. So today, let me see if I can get the lighting correct. Man, everything was done, towards the end. But today we have a special guest. I'm wearing a nice little baseball jersey, for all you baseball fans out there, little baseball jersey. So we're gonna be talking baseball. Special guest is gonna share his experience. What we usually do, we're gonna learn from what he went through, and it's all about knowledge and gaining different points of views and perspectives. Without any further ado, let me welcome you, my guest, Mr. Wally Barrera. Wally Barrera, what's going on, man?
What's good, Rudy? How you doing, man?
Man, let me silence my phone, man. I gotta silence my phone here real quick. I just got a text message, but let me silence it.
Ya estás bien popular, bro. Popular, man. Getting shout outs left and right, brother.
I know, right? I know. Hey, man. So I met you a few years back. I'm glad I met you. We've had very intellectual conversations as coaches. I know right now you're where exactly are you right now as a coach?
I'm coaching athletically for La Jolla High School, and I teach at Jimmy Carter.
Okay, nice. And you do what sports?
Football and baseball.
Nice. I think and your main focus is in the freshman team, no? Football?
Freshman football, and then I'm the pitching coach for the varsity baseball team.
Yeah, nice. Hey, your resume precedes itself, but we'll talk about that. I will say before we get into the conversation about baseball, for everybody that's watching, is when I met, I'm very none of this is my decision, right? What coaches get to coach, but I'm very critical of what coaches do coach. Because I'm like, hey, I want my guys to be. Even though you're not my guy, you're above. But in conversations that I've had with people around, is the freshman coaches are super important, man. The responsibility is amazing because you get guys coming in from 3 junior highs. You don't know the positions. The players don't know you very well. You got to keep them in the program. You got to build that rapport with them within 2-3 weeks. Stay in the program, and hopefully those guys, at least 80% of them, make it to the varsity level.
Right.
How do you feel about that kind of pressure?
It's a part of it, man. It's what comes with it. The other thing to take notice of is, I guess, where it can lead to a little confusion for us at the high school level. Those kids, the children might be playing a different position at the middle school level. I know we had cases where some of the athletes were being used as running backs. And we get them, and it's like, no, they're not no running backs. They're too big, They're too slow. They're too big. But they were all district in track in middle school, and it's like, what is going on? So we have to make those adjustments, and that's one of the biggest things. The kids, they're developing and growing, maturing. Nobody knows how you're gonna end up. Everything depends on. Como todo, cuántas ganas le echas. I'm very bilingual, bro. So
no, it's fine. Don't worry about it. And we'll get into why you're so bilingual. But yeah, keep going. Everybody understands. Everybody understands what's up.
Yes. So it's the children are learning a lot about themselves at that time as well, and it's our job to just show them the support they need and help them out as best as we can to help them become the best athletes they can, so that they can succeed.
It's funny you mentioned that because my brother, he'll have barbecues, right? And he's over there with a JD Salinas crew, and I used to be there. And pues, he'll invite me every time. And there's always a segment of that barbecue where it's time to pick on Rudy and it's time to pick on his Chavez coaching style, right?
Oh, yeah.
And I've got to a point where, pues, we're already relaxed y todo el show. Estamos en un rato. Sí. I said, time out. Let's just make sure that this is the moment. This is the segment. The way it always happens, that you're going to start bullying me. But it's okay. I get it. He always gives me a hard time about one of the players that we had that was a running back, but then now is a varsity offensive guard, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, dude, I said, and he, no, why are you putting him? You had him here. I was like, dude, you don't understand. What he was in seventh grade, what he was in eighth grade, and now what he's as a sophomore, he's a totally different guy. His body's different. He's bigger,
He'll be
whatever
a junior
happened.
this year, right?
Yeah. He's in picture. So you cannot compare the way he looked in seventh grade and the way he is in gonna be a junior. So oh man, he goes at me. He goes, nah, I wouldn't. I was like, bro, and because his biggest thing and my biggest thing as well is set them up for the success they can have at the varsity level and at the collegiate level.
Right.
For example, when I get like an Ethan Moya, when I saw him, I'm like, well, he's gonna be my point guard because if he grows to be 6'4", that's a D1, point guard. There's no need for me to play in post, right?
Right.
And things like that you go into take into consideration. But man, they give me a hard time. But I'm glad we're on the same page of that on that stuff. And I don't know if you saw my broadcast the other day. One time you asked me, what is your biggest strength? In one of the conversations we were having. And I figured out that amongst the many that I have, and the humble ego that I have, is the fact that I was talking to Kenny Benoit the closing the gap, man. That film session that we have every week with those guys. Mm-hmm. And I started doing it with, and these are ideas for junior high coaches right now, is I did it with football. We started with basketball. And in my mind I already had it that we're going to start doing it with track as well.
Right.
Especially when it's at our local track. That way, because we keep track of every time that they run, we keep track. We have a staff sheet the very next day. Hey, let's look at all the times. Where do we move it? It's very meticulous. And I've sent you some of the Excel documents I have.
Yes, so. And that's you got to be intentional with your work, and you are. If there's something that coaches can get from you besides your egoistic ways, is I'm kidding, man. Is to be intentional. Not saying they're not.
Right.
It serves a really big purpose for the children, for the athletes. You're showing the high school coaches what you're all about, what your end goal is, what you're trying to achieve from them, and you're kind of tracking. It's just tracking. Okay, how's their progress? Are they regressing? Are they advancing? Are they not? What is it that's going on? Did they meet a girl? Did they stop playing? What is it? A lot of factors come into play, but you do a really good job at keeping track of those athletes.
Yeah, man, and part of it is, for example, like you said, is we don't know what guys played running back and things like that. Is like, well, here's the list. That way you can kind of get a gauge of, okay, these are the speedsters. For example, in the offense we have right now is like, well, I got a guy that runs a 4.8, probably going to be an A-back or a secondary guy. Stuff like that gives you an idea. And of course, we talk, we text.
Right.
So I think that's very important for coaches, both at the high school and the junior high school, where you can have a conversation and give each other a hard time. I give Eric Montalvo a hard time all the time.
He should be listening in. If he's not, shame on him.
No,
he really loves baseball. He's a big advocate for baseball, so I know he was really excited to watch this.
I'm sure he was. I'm sure he has I'm sure he has the same feelings of baseball as I do. For everybody out there that's watching, Wally mentions Coach Montalvo, and me and Coach Montalvo really are not big fans of the game, in the sense of we don't go out and watch it. Now, I will say this: I respect it for it's an amazing game. As a sports fan, I'm like, okay, I like to watch the World Series. I like going to games. The grind, the mental toughness that you have to be at a pitcher and the batter. No, man, we'll get into all that right now here in a little bit. Pero se pone bueno el ambiente. And one thing I tell Eric is, make sure that when you're having all that success in about a year or two, don't take the credit. The very first person you better thank is me and developing all those basketball players. And that's go. Everybody who's watching, hey, make sure you know it's not Coach Montalvo. I said just don't. I tell him don't mess up my program. That's what I tell him. But
it goes down to development.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So all right. So either way, everybody's probably like, okay, stop talking about coaching. Let's start talking about Wally Barrera. Wally, that jersey you're wearing. So tell us a little bit about your junior high and high school years in the realm of athletics. What junior high did you go to?
I was at Ann Richards Middle School.
Oh man, were you there with Coach Perez?
Coach Perez.
Oh, it was
it
was packed. That's a lot of athletes.
Yeah, I know. Well, we were always head to head with Chavez, and we took the battles those years that I was there.
Yeah,
so
I wasn't in La Jolla yet.
I get to, carry that with me. And now all the kids are like, puro Chavez, puro Richards guys.
Yeah. No, for
All
sure.
we get is Chavez kids. So it's
Yeah.
fun, man. But I was at N. Richards Middle School, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, of course.
Yeah.
Well, there was no baseball back then at the middle school level. So athletically, I mean, I tried to compete in any sports I could. I grew up, I loved playing football. I loved just being involved in some sort of sport, basketball. I've never been fast. That was my, I guess, weak point. I'm not a fast guy, but playing football, I guess I was one of those where stick him where we can, put him at quarterback. Let's see what he can do. So I was a quarterback 7th and 8th grade year. I had actually learned or grew to enjoy playing football, and I was getting pretty excited to play in high school. That's all you hear, hanging out with the guys. You go with your team to a Friday night game. Back then, I mean, it was the time of the Adan Montalvos, 05, 06, 07.
Yeah.
They had really, really good ball clubs. So we're going to watch their Friday night games, and you look forward to it, man. And I was starting to build that I want to play football in high school. Because growing up, it never was in the back of my mind, It was baseball was life, and that was it.
Well, you say that though. So if there was no baseball in junior high, how did you get exposed to baseball?
So we had in Palmview, I believe it was a Palmview Boys and Girls Youth Club.
The youth club, yeah.
And then our era kind of started the whole select ball travel team ordeal. So, and I remember there was this big issue with Palmview against the travel teams. I mean, they had it used to be called Pepsi Sports Park.
So I remember that part.
We were playing out there with our select ball teams, and we would kind of, no, because we can't play at Palmview because we have a game over here. And it was a little bit more competitive playing select ball because it's kind of like an all-star team all year round. That was the idea behind it. And you're investing money. Our parents are investing money into it. And Palmview was like, well, if you're going to play select ball, you can't play it over here with the Boys and Girls Youth Club. Right. So I think there was too many of us. It was too hard of a battle to win. So they said, okay, you can play at both places. It doesn't matter. The biggest key for us was, well, we want to play. We don't want to just play on a Tuesday and on a Friday. We want to play every day if we can. We wanted to be out on the field or play tournaments that lasted the entire weekend.
Right.
So they gave in, and it worked out. The exposure more was from there. And because I remember my high school coach, Coach Farias, who's now the head football coordinator, they used to host the camps for the children, which we still do.
Right.
And we would attend every year. And I remember looking up to the ball players, man, the high school ball players, where you see them. It's like, these are the studs, these are the guys that I want to play with, these guys or where they're at in the future. So that's where it all started, man. Palmview Boys and Girls Youth Club back in the day.
You know what? It's funny you mentioned though. I was granted. I don't know. Once I got older, I didn't stop going. I would just go to the park and play. But I think I was one of the first that when they opened that little rec center, they had like a little game room. Yes. Did you ever get to go to that game room?
Yes. Oh, I made a couple of parents. Any chance I could.
And that's what it was. We were like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna drop you off. I'll be back in 4 or 5 hours to pick you up.
Yeah, that was a really great program they had, man. And I remember you grow up and they drop you off there. It's like a little daycare center type deal where you go, but you're having fun. So they have these sections split up for you. Games back then. I think the first PlayStation was brand new, so it was like they had it. We would have like a random Friday where they brought out water slides, and it's just you're collaborating with a lot of different children, kids your age, and and getting those social skills while being able to go out there and have some fun.
Yeah, and I'm sure a lot of people from the community were, kids that are around our age were, part of that youth club, which is I thought it was pretty cool. I'll tell you what, that you mentioned that PlayStation that, and the science about developing kids and stuff like that is nowadays, you put the headphones on with the mic and pues you're playing video games to compare when we were growing up, as you're playing the video game, but your friends are there. So everybody's talking trash. I remember one time we had the guys were over at my neighbor's house, and who was it? It was Johnny Martinez, Lalo Garza. They're still in the area.
Mhm.
Actually, I'm coaching one of Johnny Martinez's son, and so one of the guy loses, and he's like, one guy starts talking trash, and then the other guy's pobre vato, and the other guy would start talking, I don't know what, pobre vato. And the other guy starts there, and after a while, this is at a home, right? But they start going at it, wrestling in a friendly way, but it was,
Right.
but it's that social interaction that I
Yes.
think when we talk about development, it's that social interaction that we're missing because of the technology that we have nowadays.
Right.
But I'm sure you see that in the high school. I know I've seen it sometimes in the junior high, but I'm sure in the high school, everybody
Oh
on their
yeah.
phone and the
Oh
adults.
yes. It's really really big.
So you
And
play?
technology
Go
is
ahead.
good, but
Yeah,
I'm a big advocate for being social, for being out there, for getting involved with hands on.
for sure, for sure. Okay, so then you do baseball as a growing up in the Palmview Parks youth, Boys and Girls Youth Club.
Yes.
You play football, no baseball in junior high. So I'm assuming you start playing your baseball career in high school. What sports did you play at the high school level? Did
I
you play
just
basketball in junior high?
I played basketball in junior high.
Oh snap!
Mixed it in a little bit, but we had a really really good group of talented kids that I was on the red team or the A team, whatever you want to call it, but
Right?
I was never the guy, and I'm not afraid to admit that, because that to
Yeah.
me always served as something to look forward to, a goal to achieve. I look at these guys. What are they doing? What am I doing that isn't competing or up to par with them? Okay, what do I got to? Okay, let me get there.
Mm.
And I was never the guy. I was always on the A team and all that, but so yeah, no. Played football, played basketball, tried track, but again, I'm slow. That didn't
Right.
work. They tried throwing me in a 400. They tried to. It wasn't there, man. So participation, órale, get in,
Yeah,
But
yeah,
more,
yeah.
I'm sure it
But
was
at least
more
you
just
tried it. You go
yeah.
out there and you try it.
Oh yes. So high school, I wanted to play football. Baseball was obviously the passion. Was what I always loved and wanted.
Yeah.
And I remember getting confronted by my father in a good way. I mean, I know he was looking out for me and everything. And he asked me, he said, "Hey, do you want everything you can possibly have, or anything I can give you for baseball? Or if you're gonna play football, then I'm gonna get you, the $30 glove.
Because
I might not,
now you have to
I
split.
might not, yeah.
'Cause now you have
Now
to
I have to
split.
split, and now there's an opportunity, or I'm at risk of getting an injury. So he said, I'm gonna invest all this time and money the way I've been doing. Balls. We didn't grow up, the wealthiest. We didn't
Right.
grow up
Right.
wealthy at all. A very humble family, and I'm very grateful for the upbringing I was given from my parents. But that was one of the things is, bueno, ¿dónde le vas a echar ganas?
No, pues
And el
baseball.
football or baseball, where do you see it? So it was
Yeah.
baseball. But then a little sidetrack, which
Mm.
I throughout high school here and there, siempre me decían, órale, báilale. I danced folklorico too.
Uh-huh.
So I was in the Grupo Folklorico Tabasco there at the high school
Nice,
level,
bro.
which
Nice.
I guess it kind of was es mucha condición. It is a lot of conditioning. You're dancing. Back then it was all one show. So you're dancing for 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
You're going at it, and the conditioning, the what you need, I guess, for baseball was actually there. I was getting a lot of it through Folklorico, believe it or not, man.
Nice. Yeah. No, and I believe it. I remember there was this one guy. I forgot his name. He was at Juarez Lincoln, and he danced folklorico, but that helped him. He was one of the speedsters too, and he's like, "No, me escucha, my footwork has gone a long way because of
Oh yeah,
folklorico."
no, and I almost got out. I almost got out of Folklorico twice. Thankfully, the director at the time, who ended up coming to Palmview when the school split, he's now retired.
Mm.
He convinced me, along with his co-director. They both convinced me, and to stay. And again, one of the things was my dad. Hey, are you going to commit to baseball or not?
Yeah.
Hay chance. A lo mejor puedes tener futuro. Are you going to commit or not? And that was, I know a lot of it was him being optimistic, but trying to have me commit to something. So I said, okay, I'm going to get out. But
Yeah.
Rudy, I think my dad saw the I guess how much I enjoyed dance and folklorico and going out there and the shows, and he came up to me after I had already quit. Well, not quit, but the year ended, and I said, "Sir, I won't be returning." He came up to me and said, "Wally, if you want to dance, you dance. You want to do for go do it. I actually like watching you out there, on the
Yeah.
stage. Dale gas.
Ah, el
I'm
orgullo del
hoping that."
papá. El orgullo del
See,
papá.
so I know.
It's a good feeling.
Yes, yeah. So
To
that
be proud.
helped, and I said, you know what, that way I'll join it. And I talked to the director, and I said, oye, pues my priority is baseball. Dijo, Wally, I had my entire men's dance team was the entire soccer team, the varsity soccer team at one of his first years there. Dijo, if somebody knows how to work with athletes, it's me. Don't worry.
Yeah.
So they're very, very flexible with the schedules. Something I'm very, very grateful to them. Pero folklórico en baseball, man. Folklórico en baseball.
Not bad, bro.
Crazy.
I didn't know that about you.
No, fun fact.
It's funny you mentioned that. I had a Mr. Riojas. He's there now at La Jolla, right?
He was the one who convinced me to join in eighth grade.
Yeah,
Cristobal
okay.
Rojas, yes.
Sí, Cristobal. Hey, I'll tell you what though, that guy's legit. I love his energy and his passion for that stuff. We're at JD Salinas and we're at some, in service or something, and he's like, "Hey, yeah, man, next year I'm gonna go to La Jolla," and we started talking about sharing the athletes and the dancers. I go, "No, pues sí, we never had a hard time, right?" I was like, Riojas, this is junior high, bro. High school varsity sports are a little bit different.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong; it's still doable, but the give and take is not as easy. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So it was funny, but I love that guy. That guy's I like going to his shows.
He's the one who convinced me, man, in eighth grade. And I remember I was very shy when it came to dancing, the middle school dances. I was never up for it, man. And until eighth grade, where I stayed con los camaradas, they were in Puerto Rico, and I stayed back. We were going to hang out at their houses, and I was just sitting in the dance room and say, "Hey, orale, come learn these steps." Nah, I'm good, man. Come learn them. Nah, man, I'm good.
Yeah.
He convinced me, bro. I started with it, and next thing you know, later that evening, I'm at home. I estoy zapateándole según yo, trying to figure things out.
Woo!
And it just, man, it grew on me. And
like, I can do this.
I enjoyed it. Ahora me dicen todos, órale, métete unos pasos, guys. Those days are, I put that to the past. My wife tells me now, I'm recently married.
Yeah.
I got married back in January. So very happily married. These 7-8 months on the making.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
She me dice, órale, métete unos pasos. Babe, esos días, mira.
Yeah. All right. So, Wally, when your dad told you that was at the end of your freshman year, okay?
That was freshman and sophomore year, both years.
Okay. So then, so in high school, so let me see. My biggest thing, I mean, of course, there's two things I know about. No. One thing I know about you is that you were a late bloomer. You didn't grow to be as tall as you are now.
Right.
Right. And then we go into the whole red shirting. What's your take on that red shirting stuff?
Red shirting is good.
Before sixth grade, of course, within the rules.
I wasn't able to get red shirted. I think, and it's a touchy subject because a lot of parents might not agree with it. A lot of athletes might not either. But you see, when you look at me, or I look at myself as an example.
Right.
I graduated high school at 17. I'm an August baby. My birthday's this coming Friday, actually.
Yeah, because I'm pro red shirting. And when I hear August, look, it's June, July, August, I'm like, hey, red shirt, automatic.
Red shirt, right?
Automatic.
Yeah. So my parents didn't know that. My dad loved sports and all that, but his parents never let him play. He grew up a migrant, so they were always working.
Yeah.
And so I don't blame him for it, but I think now, digo, pues si se presta, if one day, I have children, God gives me the opportunity and blesses me with a family of having children, of my own. And if they're born in the summer days or months, I would be very strongly motivated to redshirt them.
Let me explain. Give me a second, Wally. Let me explain. One of the because see, I can see the comments. You can't see the comments. I don't know why they do that, but somebody asked, "What is a red shirt?" So for the public that does not know what a red shirt is some parents is when you hold a kid back on purpose. Some parents do it for academic reasons. Some parents do it for emotional reasons, maturity reasons. Other parents do it for specifically sports. So, for example, you start school, you're in first, second, third grade, and then the parent says, you know what? Tells the teacher, I want my son to repeat third grade on purpose. Whether they're like an A, B plus student, the parent says, no, I want them to repeat. Me personally, from what I've seen in junior high, from what I've seen of the collegiate credits you can get during high school, why not keep my 3 children at my house under my supervision 1 extra year? They get to mature. They get to be with their dad. I get to train them mentally, emotionally, physically. I'm a big fan. With COVID, se presta más. But that's just me personally. But, just to explain it. So if you were to go back, would you tell your dad, I need you to hold me back in first grade?
At this point in my life, no.
Okay.
No. And will I do it if I have the opportunity and my children are born in a summer day? Will I do it? More than likely. And that's something that my wife and I will have to talk about. And that's something that I believe, if it's going to be done, will be done very early.
Very early, yeah.
As
Absolutely.
early as possible. But considering how my athletic life went and all that, no, I wouldn't take.
Yeah, you had a good experience, right?
Yes, it went really well. But I do think, had I been held back that 1 year to be up to par in age level and maturity level with the remainder of my classmates, or what could have been my classmates,
right?
It makes me wonder. I mean, I graduated high school at 17 again, La Jolla High School, class of 09.
All right.
17, and topping out after, this is the summer. This is the summer, topped out at 88 miles an hour.
88
miles an hour, the summer going into my freshman college year. At this point, I was
about to ask you, who looked at, not with that time,
I was very naive, or not. I knew I was going to play college ball. That was my mindset. I didn't know I was going to play. I thought I was. And I really believed it, but I had nobody confront me or come up to me and say, hey, I want to give you an opportunity. I want you to come play. So it was just me saying, I'm going to play college ball one day. And Rudy, funny story, man. I remember thinking back, I'm not going to play here in the Valley. And I know that's a big mindset for a lot of the kids here. I'm not going to play in the Valley. Pan Am, I'm not going to go to UTPA. Well, now it's UTRGV. I'm not going to go there. No. And I remember getting pretty much slapped in the face, man. And it was a simple, ¿y tú quién eres para no ir a Pan Am o para decir que nadie te ha ofrecido nada?
Right.
What have you done? What have you accomplished? What offers do you have laying on the table?
Okay, so let me ask you that before we go to that. So it's from your junior and senior year, most, I guess, back in the day, you still don't know, you're not as well versed in the situation. Looking back at your career, how hard you trained, what you did, knowing what you know now, being a professional, the work in the arm. I mean, you're very knowledgeable. I've talked to you very many times. You're very knowledgeable. Why did you not get looked at your junior and senior year?
Well, I played when I played in college. When I finally signed to play college ball, I went in as a pitcher. I wasn't pitching in high school, or I wasn't pitching much. I wasn't developed to that extent. That is what makes me wonder about holding me back a year and all that. Because,
I got you.
Again, I didn't hit 88 miles an hour until the end of my senior year. So,
were you pitching your senior year? Did you pitch your senior year?
I threw a few games. Mind you, Rudy, we had Miguel Peña, known as Mickey, also from our area.
Oh, yeah. I've heard that name a lot.
Left-handed pitcher, drafted the 5th round out of high school. Went on and so forth, played a couple years of JUCO and increased his stock, and ends up signing and playing with the Red Sox organization. And he ended up playing in Mexico. He's still out there, actually. Bueno, ahorita no, pero he's still signed to play ball in Mexico, Liga Mexicana. We also had, well, mind you, lefty, low 90s, upper 80s, low 90s. I mean, consistency, level of maturity on that guy when it came to being a pitcher was there was nobody.
That's Mickey still, right?
Mickey. Now you have our number 2 pitcher, who was a year under us, Lupe Lopez, who, I don't know, 5'8", 5'7", 5'8", height-wise, and is
Wow.
topping out 92 his junior year.
Wow.
Incredible athleticism, great arm, nasty curveball. Then you have our shortstop, Adrian Garza, who was topping out 87, 88 miles an hour. And then it's us,
So
myself.
what were you at? Where were you at before graduating?
Maybe
84?
about 85, 86.
85?
But
Okay.
I lacked the experience. So
Right.
I remember being very timid when I pitched in some of those games, man.
Mm.
I remember being very timid. My mindset wasn't there. I wanted to do it. I wanted to really be out there. I competed, but when it came to pitching, I would always think, si le pego? And what if I hurt something? And that I had to. There was a trainer of mine.
Isn't that the answer? He just walks to first base.
Oh, sí.
I mean, just get over it.
Like, okay, I hit him. He gets on first base, and we go
keep going.
But
right.
And those are things that I learned, and the mindset had to really change when I trained. When I would go in long toss, trying to increase the velocity of the arm.
I got you.
I mean, you're dealing with guys, trainers, and ball players who their mindset is, "Pues soy yo, tú, who's gonna eat?"
Right. Yeah.
Me or you, So now you start embedding that mindset and getting a lot more, I guess, into it and competitive. Now you're out there and you want it and you're grinding. You're working. You put in the work, so now you feel a lot more confident about being able to go out there and pitch on the mound. So I didn't develop that until I got to college. So in high school, I got all these guys who are studs that I'm not even going to say I'm competing against. I was a utility ball player, played anywhere in the infield, anywhere you threw me, basically, and that was it. So I get to college, got an opportunity. There was a phone call that was made. Hey, coach, I got a kid. He can hit 88 miles an hour. Do you want to come take a look at it? So they went to La Jolla. They saw me throw. The scout didn't take a radar gun, didn't take nothing, bro. He had a tablet on him. Not a tablet, just paper.
A notepad, like a notepad.
A notepad, yeah. So he goes out there and he just says, "All right, man, pitch." So I'm thinking, okay, I thought he was going to tell me, okay, give me 4 fastballs.
Hey, saca la pistola, primo.
Algo, let me light it up. Something. Man, I was excited. Right. I hit 88.
Yeah.
And this is UTPA here. And pues no, I pitched. And he goes, all right, show me your pitches. Okay, give me a curveball. Well, I throw a slider. I throw a slider. All right. So I throw it. And so at the end of the session, the bullpen, he comes over. He tells me, he's like, hey, man, you know what? I don't know how hard you were throwing, but you throw a lot of strikes. He said, and we need that. We need somebody who can throw strikes. He said, we don't have any scholarships available. This is early July, bro. I think. I mean,
at this point, are you already going to UT Pan Am? Are you enrolled in all that or no?
No.
Oh, so you're still not going to college yet at that point?
I'm still nowhere. No, okay. I'm still nowhere. I'm still hoping I find something before I enroll to at least school, because I knew I wanted my education, but I wanted to play ball. So he says, we don't have a scholarship for you, man. I can give you a preferred walk-on. A preferred walk-on is basically saying you're going to be on the team no matter what. Unless, you screw it up yourself, you go out there, you fail, something happens. And,
I got you.
But he said, I got you a preferred walk-on spot. I want, do you want it? Yes or no? I said, well, how much time do I have? He said, time. And he kind of looked at me like, dude, like, what are you asking for time for, bro? Like, I'm giving you an opportunity of your life here, man. And you're asking me for how much time? Like, if you're this big shot, So that's how I was, man. So I'm like, no, well, how about, He said, well, I'll give you a week. Talk about it with your parents. We'll bring them over if you want. Okay, that sounds good. So that was when I got told, because I said, I'm at Pan Am, yo no quiero Pan Am. That's when they told me.
Right.
¿Tú quién eres para decirle que no a Pan Am?
Right.
So it opened up, it turned on the light switch, man. And I said, wow, you know what? You're right. I have nowhere else to go. This is a D1 university. We're going to play top-level competition.
Hey, and I think that's a big mistake a lot of kids in the Valley make is, UT Pan Am, it's a D1.
Yes.
You're going to get looked at by, you have a chance of being looked at.
And where the program is now compared to what it was then, it's gotten a lot better. Yeah. It's gotten a lot better. I think it's getting to a point where that was always my argument. You go to Austin and everybody there wants to be a Longhorn. They want to play ball for UT. You go to College Station, they all want to be an Aggie. You go to these places where these big universities are,
Yeah.
Everybody wants to play for those schools. You come here, I want to leave the Valley. I want to leave it. And I get it. That's fine. I mean, you got to experience the world. You got to go out there. You got to get that experience. But if you're getting an opportunity to play D1 local at home, where you can be the product, why not? And that was the other thing that opened my eyes is they said, if Pan Am is doing very terrible right now, which they hadn't had some success for some years, when I went in, they told me, if they're not being successful and you're good, what does that tell you? When you're in a bad team, tú a lo mejor sobresales más.
Right, right.
That can give you a better opportunity. That gives us, hey, you know what? This team's not that great. Their record ain't good, but hey, this guy has some good stats.
Yeah.
So I was like, hey, you know what? Yeah, you're right. I'll take on that. So grateful for the opportunity, man. Was a Bronc for 4 years. Great experience. A lot of learning curves.
Let me. I guess from the coaching standpoint, and for kids to learn from you, are a few things that I'm curious about.
Okay.
One is, what kind of workouts were you doing in high school? What kind of workouts did you start doing in college that were very different or similar? Your work ethic, and at what point did you increase your speed in the pitch and your height when you grew?
Okay. So, workouts.
Okay.
High school workout was pretty minimal. Freshman, sophomore year, we hit it. We would hit the weights pretty good. We had our designated days. We would go hit the weights. I was never one of the strongest ones either.
Right.
So besides being slow, I wasn't that strong.
Yeah.
I was really skinny, really thin. I graduated high school weighing 160 pounds. 5'11", and it was one of those where I was a stick, and so not very many weights. Freshman, sophomore year were about the only years we actually lifted. A little incident occurred, an accident during one of our lifting sessions, and we kind of got away from lifting, and so that was really it through high school. I mean, every now and then we would, or maybe we would stay behind a day or two, and I wasn't fully there because I would go dance folklorico. Right. And then, if I can lift this day, I'll lift this day. But it was more what I really loved the most. And what took me to the next level was long tossing, throwing. If before weights, I would throw. Now, I will say now I am a big advocate of hitting the weight room. I am a big advocate because I saw the difference in college. We'll get there.
I see.
So, high school, not that much. We get to college, and I'm just like, shocked, man. I'm punched. I'm knocked out. We go to the weight room. We have this big old yoke trainer, man, who's the trainer for all sports. And
right.
I think he ended up, man, I don't want to lie about what university he went to, but he ended up getting to a pretty big school where he became like the volleyball coach. That's how big of a school it is. They have a designated weightlifting trainer for. So,
weightlifting trainer for each sport.
For each sport. So he ended up. He was every sport at Pan Am to just one sport over there. He was good, man. And very, very great person, motivated. You're going into 6 a.m. workouts, and he'd get you out there, man, push you to the limits, test you out. Not just that, but he would tell you, I want you here at 5:45. Okay. And you're going in at 5:45
a.m. You're talking about a.m.
5:45 in the morning. He's finishing up his workout. He wants you to go see him. And that was him. Oh, look at this guy, man. He's a beast, bro. Let's do it. So you get going 6 to 7, you're lifting. 7 to 8 o'clock, you're on the track, working on speed, working on endurance, working on everything else. So
for 2 hours, you work out in the morning.
2 hours
college,
in the morning.
In the college
ball. Yeah, college ball. That was the big, high school, not so much. It was more throwing, straight practice, not so much in the weight room.
The reason I like asking this question is because I hope a lot of the kids in the area, the Valley, right? Or especially in our area, I brought in a lot of college guys because I want them to share the grind or the love of working out compared to high school. Now, I don't know if all high schools are the same or not, but all colleges, the common factor is we're all working out, we're lifting weights. And I wanted, and the reason I wanted to know about the workouts and weightlifting is because I'm a basketball guy, but I know enough about football already. Baseball no le sé nada. So I wanted to know what kind of lifting goes on. But obviously, you already answered that question. Is in college, you do lift.
Oh yes, oh yes, and they're a lot more. They're going to be very different. Like what, as a pitcher to a position player to a
Oh,
football
yeah.
player,
Yeah.
weight,
It's
the
customized.
weightlifting
Customized
is
workouts.
everything is
Yeah. Yeah.
modified.
Yeah.
So instead of an actual bench press, they would have us lie down on the ground and we would use dumbbells.
Right.
And you'd rack up your weight with dumbbells. That was it. You're swapping out dumbbells and you're doing bench, which you're being restricted to only going about halfway down. You're not going all the way down, hyperextending,
Gotta
because
protect
you don't
those
want to get
shoulders.
tight.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
your ligament here. It's a big old topic.
The science, the big science.
Yes. So
Right.
weights are modified all the time for baseball. One of the big one that isn't is leg work. You go in, the squat rack's going to be the same for everybody. You look at pitchers in the big leagues and look at their lower halves. They got some massive thighs, some massive legs, man. That's where a lot of that juice comes from.
Yeah.
So leg work is going to be the same. Where it's really modified is upper body for pitchers.
Yeah.
So getting into college, como te digo, it knocked me right down. They go, what did I get into? 6 a.m. workouts, 7, you're at the track, 8 o'clock, go to the dorm, shower, change, pick up a quick breakfast. If you can, an apple or whatever, get to class at 8:30. It was one of those where you're on the ground, you're going. You go through the rest of your morning. If you have 2-3 classes, by around noon, you get your lunch, of course, around lunchtime, 1:15, 1:20, meet at the field, start getting ready for practice. So then we're practicing, you finish practice, and now you have study hall. So your day is gone. I mean, every single day, Monday through Friday, Monday through Saturday, no matter how you see it. And as a freshman, you go in, and I know here for us at Pan Am, we went in, and every freshman, no matter where you were academically, you had to do 10 hours of study hall a week.
Yeah.
So you're in there, man, for hours at a time. I remember we used to try to find ways to get out. So we'd clock in and go get some food, come back, and they caught on to us real quick. They put a stop to that, man, and so you have to put your time there. So the experience that you get from it, and that's why I tell kids, man, if you get that opportunity, go. It teaches you a lot.
So what was your major during that time? What did you graduate? What was your major?
My major was criminal justice. My minor was initially Spanish. It ended up changing my junior year. Well, I just changed my minor in Spanish to a major, so I double majored.
Okay, cool, nice, man, nice. So we got the work ethic, the workouts, the growth spurt, and your speed. When did that happen? How'd that develop?
Growth, height-wise, I was actually usually one of the taller ones. With the exception of like a Mickey Pena. I mean, he's like 6'2" or something like that. But I was one of the taller ones growing up. And then everybody kind of catches up and you're there, But we're in the valley, so you don't have much height anyway. I mean, people see me and they're like, oh, you're tall. Dude, I'm 5'11". I always say 6 flat, right? But that was when I wore cleats. So, I always say 5'11", 3/4, and we say 6 flat with cleats.
Yeah.
So it was one of those where height-wise, I was always there, but I never really grew into my body. I mean, everybody always kind of made fun of the way I ran, or they would joke at it. Mira como corre este vato. Está bailando when he runs. He's dancing.
It was that folklórico.
Yes, and you'll hear Flo talking about it every here and there. Flo never saw me play, so he's irrelevant.
Right.
But they used to say when I got walked, in high school, that I would dance to first base as opposed to run. Or jogging, trotting, whatever. But that was, man, I don't know, man. It wasn't, I never really developed into my body. Coach Bettis can attest to that. I wasn't a fast guy. He knows that I was probably goofy looking when I ran because I was lanky. I always had long arms, long legs, but I never really had and I remember, I believe it was him who told my parents. They asked him, like, why is he so slow? Siempre le decimos, descárgala, tráela. That was always their thing. And he said, no, he's going to grow into his body. He hasn't grown into it yet. He's young. He's really, really wild. He's got to mature and he'll get there.
You probably needed to go to a Mendez Sports Training or something like that.
That would have definitely helped. Man, a lot of the resources that are being offered now, I wish
Yeah.
it always goes. I wish I knew
Yeah.
then what I know now.
No, no. Yeah.
But it speed wise, I was never fast when it came to
No,
pitching.
I'm talking about
88 miles an
like,
hour.
when
My
you,
my going into my freshman year in college. That fall, because of weight, because of the conditioning, working out in a whole different level,
right.
I go from 88 to 90, which might not sound like a big jump,
It's a lot.
but
It's a
those
lot.
2 miles per hour is hard to reach, man.
Yeah.
It's hard to get. So I
Yeah.
go from being an 88 guy to a 90 guy, and I remember texting everybody, who I was in touch with baseball. Hey, man, I hit 90 today, and taking a picture of the radar. Hey, look at that, I hit 90.
Yeah.
Super stoked. And everybody's like, was it a glitch? No, it wasn't a glitch. It's 90,
Yeah.
it's 90. So that was kind of my first 90, and then I didn't see 90 for another little while. I was 87, 89. 87, 89, and 90 was kind of hard. And I remember one guy telling me, you hit it once, you're going to see it all the time now. But I never saw it. And it was kind of like, man, I'm right. I'm 89, and I haven't gotten that 90. Maybe it was a glitch. Pues during season, you're going through season, you kind of stop lifting, or your lifting becomes more of a kind of stay in shape type deal.
Don't lose muscle. Stay strong.
Just and break up that lactic acid, all that good stuff. So I end up seeing the 90 again. So I'm getting excited. Okay, we're in season. I was made a closer my freshman year. So a closer, for those that don't know, is you come in the ninth inning when you're winning by no more than 1 to 3 runs. You're coming in to seal the deal. Unless there's special scenarios. Yeah, just come in, get the last 3 outs, and that's it. So it was probably the easiest job because you're going in for 1 inning, but then the toughest because the pressure's on you.
Yeah, the pressure.
So
don't mess it up.
My freshman year, man, that from the get-go. And I remember telling the coach at the time, Coach Mantrana, he during our exit meeting in the winter, he said, hey, you didn't have that great of a fall, but you compete, which is going back to high school. I didn't have that competitive side.
Right.
I get to college and you flip the switch. And he said, you compete, you go out there, you pound the zone, you throw strikes. Every pitch you're throwing is hard. I think you'll have success. So you're going to be my closer. And I kind of say like, what? You just told me I didn't do good, but I'm going to be your closer. So I'm gonna be honest, man. This was my response to him is, okay, well, I know a closer. His name is Mariano Rivera, but I don't know exactly when or how the closer works, man. And he looked at me like, dude, how long have you been playing baseball for? That was, and growing up, I never really watched baseball. I didn't.
Really?
The broadcasters put me to sleep, man. My dad would tell me, you don't love the game. You can't watch baseball. You don't love the game. It's like, Dad, they put me to sleep. I love playing the game. I want to be out there. I want to be active.
Yeah.
So he told me the coach's response was, Google closer and see everything you're going to do because that's your role from now on.
Right.
He said, and then next year, I want to eventually develop you into becoming a starting pitcher.
So did you put your entry song as the Sandman también, Enter the Sandman, or no?
They didn't give us entry songs.
Oh, okay, my bad.
Not that year. He didn't let us that year. It was a little bit more of a state.
Wild thing. Were you a wild thing?
It was a wild thing. But we had, the team was picking songs for me because we thought we were going to get them, but we didn't. So that went by freshman year. I remember finishing off with like a 6 ERA, man. And what was it?
Like I have no idea what that means.
6 ERA isn't good. It's not good. But, and at that time I was killing myself for it. Man, this is terrible. 6 ERA. Man, I'm horrible. And then I get talked by a coach and he tells me, bro, this is your first year of actual pitching, and you're pitching at the D1 level. Yeah. You're competing D1. You got a 6 ERA, so what? You were the closer, dude. You're coming in the tightest situations. You went from not being much of a pitcher to getting a really, really difficult role and finishing out the year, and that's it. So it was kind of, yeah, you're right. You know what? You're right, dude. So starts giving me that, I got to believe in myself. I got to see what I can do. Sophomore year didn't go too great. I had a tendonitis in my shoulder, so I got a cortisone shot, was out for a while. They had me follow a routine, kind of as if I had gone through shoulder surgery. So I'm following that routine, getting into a throwing program, and that was probably the best thing that happened to me, man. Honestly,
Nice. Yeah.
and it was a program that the Rangers were following at the time, so Texas Rangers. So that helped me out a lot. You kind of the working out, the focusing on the smaller muscles, the smaller joints,
Right.
the ligaments, and man, honestly, I never had an issue after that. That was my
So
sophomore year. My entire year, I was on and off. And
that was
without
kind of that was kind of good in the sense of your coaching career now
yes,
that you
yes.
learned a lot in that aspect of how to strengthen that shoulder.
Right. Hands down, man. Hands down. So I was on and off. Coach offered me if I wanted to redshirt because I hadn't thrown enough innings, or I still
Yeah.
qualified that I
Right.
could have redshirted. And I was there. No, coach, I'm trying to get drafted next year. My junior year, I'm trying to get drafted. Bro, estaba ilusionado, man. I mean,
right. Yeah.
And so he's
And
like,
it's
well,
it's good to dream. It's good to
yes,
dream.
yeah. But man, dreaming is everything right now, bro. So
Yeah.
le dije, I'm trying to get drafted, coach, next year. And he, well, all right, man. You know what you're doing. Okay. So I didn't redshirt. Threw only like 13 innings. Didn't go good. Had like an 80 RA my sophomore year. So instead of getting better, I got worse. But
No,
I was like,
man.
bueno, pues, I was injured, right? So I have an excuse.
Right. You're
Junior
coming
year
back.
comes. That year, I hit the weight room. That summer, hit the weight room hard, trying to recover, get back everything, the whole throwing program that I followed. And I come back stronger than ever, man. I finally jumped from being a 90-mile-an-hour guy to a 92. All of a sudden, I don't know. It's like,
Nice,
okay, I'm
bro.
92.
Nice.
Okay, here we go. I saw where the work was coming in and how it was, I guess, transitioning to the field. So my junior year started off really, really hot, man. Really hot. But the coach is looking at me and says, hey, I want you to be a starting pitcher. That was your goal.
Right.
You're going to be a starter. Okay,
Right.
I'll be a starter. So I started one game. My first collegiate start was against A&M, Texas A&M.
Oh, snap.
That was my first collegiate start. Went 4-2. I don't forget it, man. 4 2/3 innings, which is 4 innings and 2 outs in the 5th inning. So I got to the 5th inning, but only got 2 outs. So it didn't complete the 5th inning. He took me out the game with 64 pitches total thrown, which is not a lot, but was a lot for me. I had only thrown 20, 25 pitches max in a game.
Yeah.
And that was his reasoning for taking me out, man. And I, bases loaded, 2 outs. So I needed one more out. We're in a bases loaded jam. We're winning 6-2. And he says, well, I'm going to take you out. So, coach, let me get this out, let me get this out. And no, Wally, you did good. You've never thrown this much. Go ahead and go in. You're all right. Coach, I'm on. So we ended up losing the game, man. And
what?
They were ranked 8th in the nation at the time. So they beat us. A couple teams that were above them lost that day too. So they move up to like 5th or 6th in the nation. And we win the following day. So I was like another big win, but I wasn't a part. I didn't pitch.
Right. Yeah.
But that was my first collegiate start. I get ready for
that's
the
a big
second
team.
one.
That's a big team you started against.
That was a good one. Oh man, I was stoked, nervous. I can hear the guy at the top. They have an upper deck out there, and it's like I just heard this one guy, and he was this big old dude, man, and he's just Lupe. For those that don't know, my name is Guadalupe Barrera, so everybody knows me as Wally. But he's yelling, Lupe, and that's all I hear in the whole stand. That's it. The crowd is out there. A&M goes hard. They go hard. Their fans are die hard, and they're at every game. So that's all I heard, man. And then so you're feeling that, and then you feel the stadium shake. And it's like, is it the stadium or is it me? Which one is it? But a great experience, man, and it really set the tone for a lot of what ended up happening after. So junior year goes, lost the starter role because the coach comes up to me and says, hey, man, we're kind of lacking in the back end of the bullpen. I need you to go back and close out some games for me.
Yeah.
The coach, the goal is to be a starter, man. Dijo, yeah, but do you prefer to have a quality start and lose at the end? Or do you prefer to be the guy to help us seal the game at the end of the day and get that win record up for us? Pues ya cuando te la ponen así, you say, all right, coach, I'll be your closer, man. I'm a team guy, I'll be your closer.
Yeah.
So we go to closing, Rudy. I go to closing. We're there. I have a couple good games. I remember we go to Chicago. And this is a good one here. I go to Chicago. Ninth inning, we're up by 1 run. So I'm getting hot, stretching out of the
Warming
eighth
up.
inning,
Yeah,
starting to
yeah.
get warmed up, I'm supposed to get called in. He doesn't call me in, man. He leaves the eighth inning guy out there, or the middle relief, the seventh,
Yeah.
eighth inning guy out there. And the guy closes the game, got into a little jam, but got out. We won. I was pissed, man. I was livid. I couldn't understand. I said, you made me a closer. I've closed 2 games. This is the third one. Like, come on, dude. I'm on a roll here. So I asked him, hey, coach, is there a reason why you didn't bring me in to pitch this game? Hasta así me le puse yo demonios. I'm getting an opportunity of a lifetime playing
Oh yeah,
D1.
bro. Hey,
But
hey, man,
I
bro.
guess I'm not too far from the Montalvos, no.
No, no, you're not.
No.
No, you're
So I
not.
went up to him, bro, and I asked him, hey, man, is there a reason why I didn't pitch today? And he ignored me. So I tapped him and I said, coach, is there a reason why I didn't come in to play today? And he said, Wally, don't worry about that. Just be happy we won. Celebrate with the team. Go over there. Like, that wasn't my question, coach. My question was, why did I not come in to pitch? He said, I already told you. Don't worry about that. Be happy we won. Pues yo me fui enojado.
Yeah.
Allá fui, aventé el coraje. I went to behind the fence where nobody saw me. Everything was. Y aventé el coraje. I mean, just I was hating it, man. And so I said, okay, I'll get an opportunity again later, and I'll show him.
Yeah.
We go to New Jersey. We come home, play a series, go to New Jersey, and we always play 4-game series. Our conference at that time, we had 4 games: 1 Friday, doubleheader Saturday, and then 1 Sunday.
Yeah.
So we're in our doubleheader Saturday. First Friday night, he didn't bring me into pitch. It was another save opportunity. The same guy went out there, and I'm not hating on the guy, man. The guy, I mean,
no, he did a great job. It's more the coach. It's a decision on the coach.
My thing was on the coach. So the guy gets the job done, seals the deal. I was again upset that Friday night, so I'm at the hotel in New Jersey, and I'm pissed, calling my parents. I'm gonna transfer. I got 1 more year after this. I'm gonna transfer. I don't care if I go down to a D2. I don't care if I go in AI. I'm gonna play, and I wanna transfer.
Yeah.
No, pues, Wally, think about it. Okay, whatever. Supportive, but think about it. Be smart about it. I'm gonna transfer. And I was like, following day, we go to the stadium Saturday morning for our first game, and coach pulls me aside, man. He saw my face. He saw that I was upset. So he pulls me aside, and he straight up told me one of the things that I didn't understand until recently, or why he told me, but he straight up confronted me and said, you need to take off that face that you have right now. And I said, what face, coach? And he said, so. Dijo, no, I know you're upset, but you need to get over it. You're growing up to be a man. Leave it in the past. Get over it. Be ready for today. Coach, dije, I just can't understand why I'm not coming into pitch, man. Dijo, Wally, understand one thing. You wouldn't pitch for any other team in the nation, so you should be thanking me you're on this team. Así me dijo, bro. Me aventó el mazazo.
Right.
So I said, wow, dude. I mean, I think I thought I was pretty good. And you see the staff, and you say, you're a competitor, bro. So you think I'm good, man. I'm out here.
Yeah.
He threw that jab at me, bro, and I was losing it, Rudy. I was losing it. I said, what's wrong with this guy, bro? You're my coach. How do you want me to play for you, man? These past 3 years, me están matando por ti.
Yeah.
And you're going to hit me with that, bro? Like, come on, man. So I was pissed again. First game of that Saturday, it was a 7-inning game. We usually play 9, so that one was 7 innings. Our pitcher goes complete game, shutout. We win.
Yeah, so you're not going into a 7-game.
I'm not going to break up a complete game shutout by any means. We won 1-0 tight game. The pitcher takes it, he takes it. So we go to the second game, and I get called in the 7th inning. There's 2 pitchers left, myself and the starter for Sunday. So he was throwing jabs at me. ¿Me entiendes? That was me or the starter for the following day. So I went in 7th inning, tie game. We're tied. We lost the game in the 18th inning. We went extra
18th inning.
18th inning. I went in the 7th. We went all the way to the 18th inning. I got the loss. As sad as it is. So tie game, 7th inning. I go 10 2/3 innings, 1 out away from the 11th inning. That was going to be my last inning. The Sunday guy was going to come in. So it was the game of my life, man. 157 pitches thrown, which I'm not going to advocate and say that that's good for. I will never do that to a child. Obviously, now UIL restricts that.
Right. Yeah.
That, I mean, I was upset. I came into the dugout every time. The coach would try to,
Wait,
give me
what?
some props.
Let me ask you this, and sorry to interrupt, but what kind of mental strain and toughness, or what kind of mindset? You're mad at the coach for like a week already.
Yeah.
Then he's throwing a big jab at you, and then he's like, see, I'm gonna put you in, and I still got the starter behind you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how do you have all that in your mind and say, okay, now I still have to focus and take care of this? What goes on there?
I wanted to prove a point, man. Not just to myself, but to him. I wanted him to know that I'm here, dude. I'm here. I don't want you to look past me. And I knew what I was capable of at that time. I knew that I had something in me, but I don't know if that's why he said it. I don't know, but I was upset at him, man. I would come in after every inning. He would try to dab me up, and I would just walk right by him. I would ignore him, and that's bad. Shame on me. Shame on me, 100%. But I would walk right by him, and I would go sit down. The assistant coach, who I used to butt heads a lot with, I was actually the one who was kind of being the mediator. Like, hey, come on, man. Hey, you're doing great. Keep it up. How do you feel?
How many innings did you pitch during that 18 inning
One
game?
out away from 11 innings. One out of, so I threw it. So the game ended with 2 outs, runner on second base, pop fly to center field, or a hit to center field, and center fielder, I don't know if he slipped and fell. I don't remember. I was covering home plate, so I didn't really see the plate. But I don't know if he didn't get to it, if he dropped it, not sure. But we didn't get that out. I know off the bat, I thought I saw it was a fly ball, and the center fielder felt horrendous. Because he cried, man. He came up to me. He's like, he was crying. And I told him, dude, I don't care what happened. I wouldn't have anybody else out there than you. You're the guy. You're my guy. I didn't see it. Whatever happened. So 11 innings, just about. I mean, I had it. It was just that 1 out. That run scores because there's 2 outs. The runner on second is running no matter what. Ball lands. He scores. Game ends. They walk off. So I sit there, I couldn't pitch for 2 weeks after that. I had knots all over my forearm. I couldn't throw a baseball. It was really, really, I had to get all that stuff out. So those 157 pitches took a toll. I had 11 strikeouts, which was by far, obviously, the most I had in a game. 1 walk and 1 hit in those 11 innings. So it was the game of my career at that point.
Oh, wait. So when you say 11 innings, you mean from you went 7th to the 18th. You pitched the whole time.
I pitched the rest of the game.
Oh, snap!
I pitched the rest of the game. Yeah, I threw the rest of the
game. Okay, I
got
you now. I was a little confused on that. Yeah, I got you. Okay.
So from 7th through the 18th. So, the game ends, man, and the coach comes up to me and he tells me, "Hey, you see? Hold on. Let's talk." I said, "You see? If I bring you in to pitch the game prior or Friday," he said, "you won't do this today." In my mind, all I thought was, ahora adivinas lo que va a pasar. That's what I'm thinking in my mind, but I didn't tell him that. I'm just like, oh, yeah, yes, sir. I was pissed, and then I was happy because I proved a point. Oh, yeah, yes, sir. All right, man. So that was it. I ended up not transferring.
Right.
Stayed there my senior year, had the best year of my life, best year of my career collegiately.
Right.
Really flipped the switch again. Velocity didn't jump much. I stayed there 88 to 92 in that range, depending on how often I came into pitch. Since I was a closer.
But you threw strikes.
I threw strikes. Yes, I threw strikes.
And that's the one thing I do know about baseball is if a pitcher throws strikes, hey, he's solid.
I threw strikes. And you know what really messed with my mind, Rudy, is I went in a thrower. When I went into college. And there's a difference between being a thrower and being a pitcher. So when you're a thrower, you're just chucking that baseball, throwing it at that catcher, trying to get a strike, trying to make that hit or miss.
Que se oiga el guante.
You're throwing. But when you pitch, now you're thinking, your body's you're getting a tempo, you're getting here, you're getting rhythm. So I was a thrower when I went in my freshman year. And now we're working with the pitching coach who was the head coach at the time. And he's making us pitchers and thinkers and be a thinker, not a thrower, and and all these lectures. and it was really messing with me psychologically, man. I'm thinking, okay, I got to do this with my body, and I got to be here when I land, and I got to do it. So I start getting very technical with things, and I start, kind of finding that space where I'm struggling a little bit with
You're
throwing
thinking
strikes.
too much.
I'm thinking
The
too
old.
much.
You're thinking too
I'm thinking
much.
too much. So I couldn't separate what I practiced to performing in the game. I could not, because I was thinking every single, I threw the ball. Okay, I did this with my body. Now I got to do this. And let me try. Man, I got.
So then, I mean, that injury throughout that year, I mean, it's a blessing in disguise.
Yes, 100%, hands down, 100%. That's where I also wish I should have redshirted in college. In
I see
college,
what
I
you're
should
saying.
have
Yeah.
taken the red shirt.
Yeah.
I would have given. I mean, I had a great year my senior year. That would have been my junior year.
Yeah.
Who knows what could have happened the following year? I started pro ball. It went really well. Success was already following. So who knows? Yeah. But so that was a little bit of college, man, or a lot of it.
So how did you get to the pro, like? Okay, so in baseball, how do you get looked at into the majors while you're in college? How does that work? Like
you have scouts and you
scouts.
have drafts. Yeah, you have scout days like in any other sport. You have a scout day where they'll come and they'll check out the seniors or juniors and seniors, those who are draft eligible.
I see.
You can perform in front of them. I remember,
like a combine or what, or just during games?
During fall ball, during the fall, before season. And so they designate a scout day. I want to say it's around November, and you're able to go out there and just, if you're a pitcher, you're gonna pitch live to your own teammates, hitters, and so you're performing against each other. You're competing against each other, and scouts are just evaluating. If they see something they like, they'll keep tabs with the coach. Hey, send me info on this kid. What does he got?
Yeah.
And the coach had told me, I got a few guys who are asking about you. So I get you hyped up, you get real optimistic, and I know where I'm going. I know what I'm doing. And those few teams never really sent me that questionnaire that, players in college want. Or at least, I don't know how it works for other sports, but baseball, you get a questionnaire and it's kind of, you fill it out and it's like a little survey evaluation type deal about you.
Right.
A little bio, I guess. So I never got it, man. But coach would always tell me, hey, guys are asking about you. Keep throwing. Guys are asking about you. And I remember my senior year, senior summer. So Sacaba junior year, summer comes right before senior year.
Okay.
I go to a tryout for the Rangers, Texas Rangers up in Austin.
Nice.
And a few of us from the team went. So I had already been to a few here locally and things like that, but throwing 88, 90 miles an hour was no. So I go up there and to that tryout, and I think I threw 90, 91 miles an hour, topped out. So the scout asked me, hey, what year are you? I said, well, I'll be a senior this year. Where you at? Well, I had my UTPA shirt and everything. UTPA, man. Okay. You'll be a senior? Yeah. What do you do? What role do you have? Well, I've been a closer. I said, all right. I'll be seeing you in scout day. Oh, okay. That's a big deal. That same tryout, one of our seniors who had just graduated goes out there. He had topped out like 92 with us, man, during season. He goes out there and hits 95 or 96 or something like that. They sign him on the spot, and it's one of those like, what? So this kid makes it a AAA and everything, and then he gets released. But he had a good little stint with the Rangers, Orioles, and things like that. So it was one of those crazy story where he just picked up 3 miles an hour in that summer. So I come back, scout day, man, I got sick. I was sick. I had a virus. I mean, every which way. So I'm out there trying to still compete while I'm sick, hoping that I didn't have to rush to the restroom or anything.
Right.
So I'm out there trying to compete, and I see some pictures they posted at our school paper there at Pan Am of Scout Day, and I just see a picture, man, of me like this. Hecho queso, my arm, my body, everything, really just trying to strain it. And I think I topped out 88 that day. So the scout was kind of like, it was a fluke over there in Austin.
Yeah.
So he kind of pushed away, and that was that, man. So from there, after my senior year, I graduated and finished playing ball, and I wanted to continue. I didn't get drafted. I was told, be hopeful, but don't expect it. Just kind of, it's
Right.
one of those, they might, but they might not. And I knew it wasn't. That was just something the coach is telling you, said they're not going to crush your dreams,
Yeah.
So I did know for a fact I wanted to continue playing.
Right.
And I told him. So I told the coach straight out there, Pat. I said, Coach, I want to continue playing ball. If y'all know of any teams, that might be interested, or anywhere that can give me an opportunity, whether it's indie ball, which is independent baseball,
Yeah.
which was the Roadrunners that we had there in Edinburgh.
Yeah. I remember.
That's
Or they're
one
still there, right?
example of indie ball.
Yeah.
Laredo, there was a team out there too. So I said, if y'all know of anybody, let me know. Well, I end up talking to the coach from the Roadrunners, who was Ozzy Canseco. No, Ozzy? Ya ni sé, era uno de los cuates. The Canseco brothers, they were in the big leagues, played ball, and so one of the brothers was coaching there with the Roadrunners. I go out there and I do a tryout bullpen, man. And this guy's nuts, bro. If anybody knows the Canseco brothers, they know that they're different level of athletes. They're different level of people. So and no bashing, no nothing, man. They're great guys. So I'm going out there for my bullpen, my tryout bullpen for the Roadrunners, my first little pro ball stint. And I throw a few pitches, and he kind of looks at me and goes, "Ah." He gets a bat, and he gets in the bullpen, and he goes, "I want to see your pitches with me in the batter box." And I thought, you're the head coach, bro. If I hit you, shoot. I'm thinking, oh, okay. And I know that's why he probably did. So, pues I'm pitching, I'm throwing, and the pitching coach was there, and he goes, "Hey, throw him a slider." And that was, but at this point, my slider was my pitch. Besides the fastball being 90, 92 miles an hour, my slider was up there. I had a hard slider, 81 to 84 miles an hour, and I threw it for strikes, and it had sharp bite. That was my out pitch. Yeah. As a closer, you set them up, fastball, slider, frontwards or backwards, whichever way I could.
Right.
So he says, "Throw him a slider." So I threw him the slider, bro. Coach buckled, and it doesn't break. My slider didn't break big. It was small bite, but sharp and hard. So he buckles back and goes back and everything. And he kind of looks at me, "Go on now, I thought it." Well, get back in there, coach. Come on, man. Goes, I see you. I'm going to start hacking. Nah, chill out, bro. You got to hack, dude. Come on, man. So I go to the bullpen, bro. This guy makes me throw about 60 pitches. Damn. In a bullpen. But you throw 20 pitches in a trial bullpen. Maximum 20. And that's when it's intentional like that. If it's a pro trial, you throw 8 pitches, man, and you're in and you're out.
Yeah.
This guy makes me throw about 60 pitches, dude. So I'm out there, ando bien bofeado, you don't take your breaks the way you would in a normal game.
Yeah, the inning
so
and all that.
60 straight pitches, and I was recovering from a small surgery I had in my toe. I didn't get to play my final senior game. I was supposed to start that game. We were in the tournament, the conference tournament in New Jersey, and I didn't get to pitch in it because I stepped on a needle in the hotel.
Oh.
So I got it stuck in my big toe, and man, it was bad. I didn't think I had it in there, so I went to did my routine the following day during the game in one of the tournaments, and I'm out there and I'm pounding my toe, and I'm thinking, taking my my condition, and I just kept thinking, man, this really hurts for just being a piquete. It hurts.
Yeah.
And it was agonizing pain, bro. So I remember telling the trainer, like, "Hey, I think I got the needle stuck." So they check it. "No, you don't got it. There's nothing in there. It's fine. You have some blood coming out." Okay. So I'm still going and boom, boom, doing my stuff.
It hurts.
It hurt, man. Every step I took, man, it hurt. So I try to go to sleep that night, and I remember even the covers, man, the quilt. As soon as it touched my big toe, it hurt, man. It made me kind of jump back. What? So I went to see the trainer again. I said, "Oh yeah, I got something in my toe, man." And she goes, "No, let me see it." As soon as I put it on the bed, bro, I took off my sock. I put my foot on the bed in their room. And she goes, "Oh, yeah, there's definitely something in there now." It was in there, dude. So she's like, "We'll take you to a clinic tomorrow."
Oh, man.
I'm supposed to pitch in a couple of days. I'm thinking, okay, so am I going to be able to pitch? Well, we'll see what they say. But no, I go to the clinic. They did the surgery the day of our final game.
Yeah.
So I'm at the clinic from about 7:30 in the morning to, I don't know, 5:30, 6 o'clock.
So how far from that day to the Canseco situation, the 60 pitches?
Maybe about, I signed mid-June, so about 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks.
And you still weren't fully recovered.
Oh no. When I signed with the Roadrunners, my toe was not fully recovered. I was trying to work out. I remember, man, it was still there. I had a little bit of blood because of the workouts. It was kind of, pero we wanted to compete, and it was an opportunity.
So you threw the 60 pitches with Canseco, and then what happened after that?
He says, you're on the team, and he tells me, it's funny, man. He knew I played at Pan Am, and the Roadrunners played at the same field we did. Oh yeah. He tells me, hey man, you're on the team. Let's go sign your contract. We're gonna pay you this much. Bro, like $600 a month or something like that. So I'm like, all right, yeah, let's do it. I'm at home, like, no problema. So I go sign the contract, and he tells me, hey, so I'm gonna get you your gear. I want you to stay tonight so you can get a feeling for the environment, the atmosphere, the light. And I look at him, I said, oh, bro, I played here for 4 years, man. No, sin faltarte respeto, like, I played here for 4 years. And he's like, oh, that's right. Go home, get some sleep. I'll see you tomorrow. And I said, are you serious? Yeah. Because I ended up going, but I was in the stands. I didn't go to the dugout. Yeah. I didn't want to go home and him say, this guy doesn't care about the team,
Right.
So my wife and I ended up going, watching the game from the stands. And was that the following day, I joined the team, and he tells me, how are you feeling? I had just done 60 pitches the day before, man, in the bullpen. I said, well, I'm pretty sore. He goes, you got an inning? He said, well, maybe. He's like, oh, no, you threw bullpen, right? Yeah, I just threw yesterday. You were there live, dude. You were pitching. And he goes, that's what I said. These guys they're on another level, man. So he's like, all right, you won't pitch today. Don't worry. Okay, sounds good. So I hang out in the bullpen. Yeah, hang out there, get to know the guys. You're going to be with these guys for the remainder of the year. We got to win the championship. All right. So I'm at the bullpen. I don't take my cleats out because I'm not going to pitch. So I get my conditioning in, do everything, my routine before the game. Yeah. We go out there, and I kind of get a feel for hey, if I'm not going to throw, and the guys went out there, no cleats. Either way, our clubhouse is here, man. So if you got to get your cleats, you can just run up. All right.
Right.
So I don't have nothing. Just my uniform and my flats. 7th inning. Este guy, este vato, he's just out there. Hey, Wally, tell him to warm up, get hot. And I'm thinking, what? Yeah, Wally, the new guy. Our phones weren't working, so they're kind of yelling at it. The new guy, get him hot. And I look at the guys, is he crazy or what? Like, he just told me I wasn't going to pitch because I threw 60 pitches yesterday.
Yeah.
Well, get hot, dude. I run in, get my cleats on, come out, start stretching as quick as I could. Say, I have to do something. That's my first.
Isn't that like total opposite of what you should do?
Oh, gosh. It was the worst. It was the worst, man. But I had my body worked pretty good. I was able to warm up fairly quick. As a closer, there were times where you had to get hot. As long as my body was stretched, I can throw 8 to 10 pitches and I was ready to go in the game. I knew how to be intentional and where to, but not like that. So I was trying to stretch a little bit here and there. The worst, and it was bad. So I started throwing the baseball. At this point, I'm like, well, I got to get the soreness from my lat out. Let me start throwing a little bit harder. And I'm going, and the catcher, get down. He looks back and hey, shut him down. He's not going to pitch. And I'm thinking, what? Okay, well, está bueno. I threw like 15 pitches there in the pen already again. I was probably throwing like 60 miles an hour at that point. So the game ends, and he comes up to me. He's like, hey, I'm sorry. I forgot you weren't supposed to pitch today. So I'll give you a couple days rest. Following day, same thing, Rudy. I kid you not, man. Same thing. He does. You're not going to pitch today, okay? So I get hot again. He's telling me to get hot. And, never mind. Oh, my God. So the game ends. He goes, oh, never mind. Following day. You're good? No, you've had 2 days rest. I haven't had rest, bro. I've thrown like 120.
Pitch, yeah.
Dude, what in the world? I feel really sore, but if you need me to go, I'll go. He's like, all right, 2 days rest is good enough. You should be good to pitch. All right, man. Yeah, sure. He puts me in the game, man. No, hombre, bro. It was bad. I mean, I don't know. I wasn't throwing hard. I was throwing muy apenas. A run came in and all that, but I was able to get out of it. He goes, "Hey, welcome to pro ball." And I'm like, yeah, yeah, man. Thank you. But that's where it started.
Why does I mean, I'm very ignorant to the system, but knowledge and science base is why does he not know that or have a trainer that doesn't know that and tells him this guy cannot pitch because of what he just went through the 60 pitches. He needs at least 2 to 3 days. I know that.
Yeah.
And I don't like baseball, but I know that I respect the body.
In the heat of the moment, I haven't been a head coach, but I've seen how our head coach at La Jolla can react sometimes. In the heat of the moment, you're gonna make some decisions that it doesn't matter what advice you're receiving.
I need you right now.
You're
I
gonna
need
make
you
that
right
call.
now.
Yeah, you're the head
make the
honcho.
call.
You're gonna make the call. You follow your gut because if you don't, well, you don't want to play the. If it's somebody's fault, it's yours because your job is on the line.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. They were. I'm not. I don't know. I guess they have a mind of their own.
So how many years were you there, and then you end up in Mexico after that?
I was there for 1 month exactly, Rudy, and I get cut. I get cut from the team. Mind you, he said you're gonna be my closer, and we already have a closer. So now you start. Yeah, it's pro ball, man. And I remember saying, and the guys they had just told me that right before, come on, hey man, you're on your own here, bro. It's pro ball, every man for himself. And I'm thinking, well, we're a team, get fresh out of college. Nah, man, you're on your own. So I get interviewed by Pan Am. They're excited. I'm playing, indie ball, and I actually said that in the interview, like, oh, it's good. How's it feeling? It's great. It's a different world out here. Every man's for their own. No, hombre, bro, the clubhouse didn't let me hear the end of it. Oh, you're not a team guy? And I'm like, what? Dude, it was crazy. But I ended up, from being a closer, he puts me I relieve a game. I go like 3-4 innings in a game, and he liked what he saw. So he says all of a sudden, like, hey, man, can you start in a couple days? I said, sure. Can I have at least a couple days? Let me get my body in shape. Yeah. So I started maybe 2 or 3 games. My final game going about 7 innings. We lost 3-0 or something like that, which in my eyes, I still consider that a fair quality start. 3 runs, we don't score. Hey, it's keeping us in the ball game. But after that game, that evening, he says, hey, 2 teams lost their funds, so they're breaking up. They're going to give us a chance to draw players. You're not going to make the cut. What? I just threw my heart out there. I thought it was a pretty good game. I went from being a closer, only starting like 3 games in college, to having a quality start for you here. Like, what? And you're going to cut me? I'm going to cut you. And I had this whole dilemma. My cousin was getting married, and I had told him I'm not going to be able to go to your wedding because of baseball. Man, I missed out on so many events, man, because of the game. Yeah. And then
I think that's a common factor or a norm amongst when you make it and you want to make it big, you're gonna sacrifice and you're gonna miss out on all those things.
A lot. So I end up getting cut. Another blessing in disguise. I call my cousin up. Hey man, I'm good. If you still need another groomsman, I'm down. I'm not gonna play, until next year. Yeah, it worked out. So that one worked, but all the other ones didn't. I missed my parents' anniversary. Man, I missed my grandmother's birthday. They're big. It was just a lot of events that I think of now. And it's like, man, you miss on so much, and it's hard.
But you're chasing the dream. You're chasing the dream.
And the family understands that. Later, once I was starting my senior year, is when I met my now wife. It's when we started dating, and we get to pro ball, and the support system is important, man. So she really supported me. My family supported me, and that was really also motivation. Kind of like, hey, if they're supporting me and I want to do it, but why not? Let me do it.
Yeah.
So Roadrunners was a month. I get cut. I go to a tryout for the following year, and they draft me to like another indie team that was a new team based out of Ohio, a new league. And it was like, it lasted half that summer, and then it broke up. I don't know. Or no, it lasted that summer. There was a championship game, but it was like 4 teams,
but
something like that.
But you played there.
I played there in Ohio, and I'm not bashing it. I mean, I got the experience. I met some teammates that I'm still cool with, and we follow up with each other on Facebook. The host families, I'm very
Yeah.
grateful because we don't have we're not making. I was making, shoot, man, like $300 a month at that team. I went from
Well,
600 to 300.
yeah. I real quick, the reason I know I do know the grind of minor league and independent ball because I think some people have a misconception of, oh, once you get scouted or you sign, you're big. But
No.
the farm system, you don't get paid very
In
much.
in baseball, yeah, you follow a scale. So once you get drafted, you usually go to rookie ball,
Mm,
whether college or high school. Unless if you're an elite college athlete, you might skip. You might go to A ball or high A, but it's rookie ball, A ball, advanced A ball, double A, triple A, and then you get to the show.
yeah.
So you're following your steps, and it's a lengthy process, and you're not getting paid much while you're there either. And that
Yeah.
you're an affiliate baseball. I don't know if I'm not mistaken. I think they start you off at like 1,200 a month or something like that, or maybe less. I'm not sure. I
Yeah.
didn't live it. It's just word of
Right.
mouth. So
Yeah.
it's not much, man. It's not much. You're out there. You're grinding. You're working every day for what you want to accomplish, trying to get that minimum salary wage of 550,000 a year. And
Man,
that's
that's nice though.
it's a big
That's a
jump.
nice
It's a
dream.
really big jump.
Yeah. So then
Granted,
after, go ahead.
there's different contracts that if you sign, you're an
Yeah.
elite athlete, you can sign a contract. Now you're looking at big money, but
Right.
it's crazy, man.
So and after that summer, you go to Mexico. Or how does that work?
After that summer in Ohio, I ended up leaving the team in Ohio. I came to New Mexico. I played in Roswell. It's another indie league.
Mm.
Roswell, New Mexico. We were called the Roswell Invaders. Our logo was an alien. So pretty sweet uniforms, man. I loved it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
a lot of people were like, "Hey, I want a cap. I want this. I want that."
Yeah.
So Roswell Invaders. I'm out there. Had pretty good second half of the season también, and so I get called. No, pues to come back, or we'll see what happens next year. Okay, so I'm looking for a team, trying to play. I still want to play.
You're about how old are you around this time?
About 23.
Oh, that's not bad.
About 23.
You still got a chance.
Yeah,
You're still young enough.
and velocity wise, I had already stayed pretty stagnant. I was 88 to 92, 88 to 92.
Yeah.
Everything. Yeah, now I was seeing more of the 90, 91, a lot more consistent. But and the pitches, I was getting a lot more consistent, mature. You were learning how to be a pitcher from being a thrower, but now with what you have.
Yeah.
So I called Roswell the following year, and I thought I had success there. They're gonna give me a chance again, But no, we'll see. You can come try out. So I'm reaching out. I had played with a teammate there, and he's from Las Cruces. So he's like, "Hey, man, we're starting a team in Las Cruces in that same league. You want to come over here? I know the skipper. I know the head coach.
Yeah.
I've known him for a very long time. Do you want to or not?" Yeah, they came down. So I drive out there. I drive out to
That's a long drive,
Las Cruces.
man. I made that drive before.
Oh
It's
man,
terrible.
yes, it was tough. And I get there, I show up. It was maybe like 6:30, 7 o'clock in the afternoon. I show up and I was tired, the road.
Yeah.
And the skipper looks, "Hey, you're Lupe?" Yeah, I'm Lupe. "All right, man, vente. You got your clothes? For what? So you can practice." Hey, bro, come on, man. I'm not putting in practice right now. Like, I want to see you pitch. Tomorrow's another day. Skip. He's like, all right. He's Daryl, man. I love that guy. That guy, bro. And he was another one who he played in Mexican leagues. He played pro ball también. He was a little prodigy. I think he was a middle infielder. So he was one. I talked to him a lot, and he would tell me, "Hey, man, you're one of my guys. You're my guy, and you're gonna need to play somewhere else. You need to go out there. You need to go. You need to continue. You got a good arm." And he let me dictate where I pitched.
Oh, snap.
That's how easy it was with him. He liked me that much. He liked the way I performed, and I had a good year. I mean, like a 3.3 ERA,
Yeah.
and quite a few more innings than I had thrown in college. So he's like, "Hey, how do you feel?" I feel good. And then he would notice that I wouldn't pitch for 2-3 games, and he would look at me and, "Coach, can I get an inning today? You do whatever you want. You want an inning? I'll give you the night. Or which one do you want?" He was like that, man. He was cool, and he would legit tell me like, "Hey, we're not doing too great. Do you want me to trade you to one of the better teams? You're gonna do a lot better over there." He would legit tell me these things, man. So I'm thinking, I went from being a guy who wouldn't play for any team in the nation to being the guy who's guys were to, So they go, okay, well, no, coach, you know what, man? I'm gonna stick it out with you, bro. They could just help me. If you know anybody in any other league, give me an opportunity. At least reach out to them, see if I can go play somewhere else. I'll do that. I like it. They go, I'll pay you more out of my pocket. I was gonna be out of his pocket. They go, no, and I'm not, bro. At that league in New Mexico, it's like 200 of one. $50 a week. $50 a week.
Nah, bro.
Rudy, I'm talking low money, man. I was surviving off of my credit card at that point. Credit card, bro, and so there was just a grind. It's how bad do you want it, And he would tell me, I'll pay you more so you can stay here for now. Don't worry, man. It's all right. The host family there in Las Cruces was phenomenal. The host family in Roswell, everywhere I've been, man. After that, I get traded to a league in California that same year. I go to San Rafael, a team in San Rafael, which is just north, I believe, of San Francisco. So
nice weather
San
out there,
Rafael,
man. It's nice weather out there. Beautiful
weather, Rudy. Yeah. Beautiful, man.
I've been there. I lived out there for a little bit. Well, in LA, but I traveled up there. It's nice.
Yeah, beautiful. So San Rafael Pacifics was the name of the team. It was in the Pacific Association of Professional Baseball, another indie team. There's only 4 teams in that league, but supposedly the level was a little higher.
Yeah.
So I go out there and I sign my contract again, like $600 a month.
It's better than 50. It's better than 200.
Better than 200. Yeah, it was an upgrade.
Yeah.
So the owner, he comes up and he's like, "Hey, man, well, we just lost our closer. That's why we made a deal with the league you're in, and we needed to bring in a closer. The one we have, he was doing a little shaky. So he's like, you think you can fill in his shoes?" They kept, well, I'm just coming to play ball, man. If y'all let me play ball, play ball. He says, the closer we had previously, we won a championship with him, and he didn't lose a game. He got every single save out of every save opportunity given. And I looked at him and said, okay, so what is it that you want from me? He says, I want that from you. So I'll give you what I can. Give you my best. I said, all right. Yeah. I didn't lose a game.
Stall.
We win the championship.
Puro coyotito.
Puro coyotito. I didn't lose a game. My first game I went out there, man. And I was talking to the previous closer, not the one that hadn't lost the game, the one who was doing a little shaky. And he asked me, man, and I didn't know the team. I didn't know them. I'm barely getting to know them. And he asked me, he's like, hey, where are you coming from? Whatever. What are you here to do? I said, well, I'm here to pitch. I'm here with you guys. He goes, no, but what's your role? And he already knew, but I think he wanted to hear it, or I don't know. Yeah. So I said, oh, I was told I was going to be the closer. Man, he stepped aside. He kind of just broke out into some tears. And the guys are over there talking, hey, man, it's all right. And then it's like he got upset. And I'm like, dude, you asked me, bro. Like, I'm not, you want your job? Take it from me, I guess. I don't know.
Work at it.
I go out there and I got all that in the back of my mind. I gave up one run that game, and the head coach was kind of like, come on, man. Hey, you're going to be our closer. You got to shut things out. And it wasn't a safe situation. They just want to see me pitch.
Right.
So after that, I didn't allow another run to come in, and I didn't lose another ball game. Or I didn't lose a ball game, period. So out of 9 save opportunities, I got 9 saves, 18 total innings, 1 run.
It's interesting. I want to touch a little bit for the non-baseball people like myself. You tell this guy you're going to be the closer. So I imagine that he was the closer. Yes. He starts crying. That's you or the coach or whatever is in the stars shattering his dream, bro. That's his dream. Mm-hmm. And somebody just telling you that your dream is over.
Yes. And I didn't tell him in that way.
Right.
I didn't.
No,
you didn't. He asked me, and I didn't know he was the previous closer. I didn't know. I didn't know him. Yo le dije en buena onda, oh, I was told I was going to be the closer. Yeah. And then that was it. Like, he just,
man,
and when I found out, I felt really sorry. I didn't know if to confront him or not. And I asked the guys, do I need to talk? They said, no, don't go talk to him, dude. Like, it's not a good time.
I will say that, give me. I want to chime out with this story that you're telling is one of my biggest things. I was talking to Lily Sanchez yesterday with the For Life and all that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And even the students and our athletes as coaches is, for example, in this guy's situation, you're living the dream, you're chasing the dream, and then someone tells you, you know what, you're not gonna make it. And the reason I want to stay in this story for a little bit is for those athletes that watch this is, but you're chasing the dream.
Mm-hmm.
You put in the work and you went for it. No matter what, for example, that guy, at least he can go home and say, you know what? I got the opportunity. I did everything I could. And if I didn't make it, I didn't make it. But he never goes home. He never goes to sleep saying, what if I would have put in the work? He did everything. He went for it. And he knows where he stood. Do you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Which is important. You always got to chase it.
That's a really, really good point. And that is actually how I tried to live my career in saying, I don't want to go to college and be the way a lot of our current athletes are or previous athletes are, going for a year, 2 years, 3 years, coming back home because of grades, because they missed home, because I didn't want to be that guy, and,
right.
And both my sisters played college softball.
Okay.
One of them graduated 05, the other one 08. The oldest one, she went to play in Ranger College, a junior college. She had just come back from the All-Stars in Hawaii that you get invited to and all this. So she played, nice. I think it was basketball and softball out there, if I'm not mistaken. I think I have that correct. And had a really great experience, comes back, goes to college, plays for a year, and she came back home. And I remember thinking, man, she has to regret this. So then my other sister goes, graduate class of 2008. She plays here at, what's the name of the school? Coastal Bend, I believe. Coastal Bend here in Mendezville. And she's their shortstop. She's their star shortstop. All of a sudden now she's a home run hitter and she's doing really good for the team. She plays there for a year and then she comes home. So I'm thinking again, man, I think this is a decision that they might regret in the future. I don't want that. And you ask them now, and they might have not admitted it for the first few years. Like, no, I wanted to come home. I didn't want to be out there. Or I don't know, whatever the responses were.
Yeah.
But I used to always think in the back of my head, this is something they might regret, and it served as an example for me. Yeah. I don't want to regret it. I don't want to live one day and say, or be like a lot of the other athletes and say, I was good enough. I could have played there. But I didn't want to. I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to do that.
At least you knew.
At least you knew. I wanted to know.
Like right now, we're talking, but you know.
I know. Was I good enough or not? Did I cut it or not? I wanted to know. And that's kind of the way I live my athletic career, man, is no regrets. And I've told everybody, I don't want to live with a regret. I want to live with I could have or I should have. Or no, I'm going to do it. Y si la hago bien y si no, no era para mí. Simple, punto y final.
Right.
So I'm over there in San Rafael, have a really, really successful season, or second half of the season. We went from, if I'm not mistaken, being third or fourth seed the first half. I get there just in time for the second half of the season.
Yeah.
To jumping all the way to first place the second half.
Oh, nice.
And winning the championship game. I pitched the final 2 innings. We walked off. We were playing at home against a team, so I got that nice ring somewhere back there, and it's one of my most cherished. Besides the college graduation ring and all that.
A lot of memories, a lot of good memories. That's one of them.
That's one memory, and it's also something I cherish, Rudy. Nowadays, man, and it's no shade against the tournaments or the ones hosting or the rings, but I take a lot of pride in that ring. Because of the sacrifice, the effort, the dedication, events that I missed out on, everything I did there to me showed kind of this is why. Yeah. And nowadays you see T-ball, kids who are competing in T-ball getting rings as big as that one, man. So I'm thinking, what are they going to grow up looking forward to?
Some of my athletes show me their rings.
Yeah. Oh, and I have a few. Well, I have a few of them there at the high school level where they're stacked. They got
Yeah.
2 hands full of rings.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, what are you going to look forward to in the future? So is it really a good thing athletically to
Yeah.
provide these children, back then I got trophies.
Yeah.
A ring was like you win state in high school,
Right.
now you get
Yeah.
a ring.
Yeah. Like
Now
yeah.
it's what? State. I win state in high school. It's a ring. Nah, no pasa
I already
nada.
have one. I already have a
Yeah,
ring.
I have a whole 2 hands and my toes.
So then maybe the message here at an hour and 39 minutes for parents watching is stop buying rings as the trophy. Just get them a plastic trophy.
I already feel jabs, man. I feel
Yeah.
jabs coming. No, I just
For, no,
I
not
just think
not
it
for.
takes
It's
away
just
of what to look forward to.
it's different. Exactly. It gives you like that little work ethic. Like, hey, you know what? I want a ring. I want a ring when
Yeah.
I'm in college. When I'm in the minor leagues, it's different. It carries a lot more weight. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah,
So
and so I take pride in it, man. I especially getting the W behind my name. Guadalupe Barrera, winning pitcher.
yeah,
That ring, I have
nice.
it. I mean, it's awesome, man. So I came out in the front page of their little magazine that they had out there. So I have that there too, and
That's pretty neat, man.
so I got it framed up. Nomás que I left it at my suegra's house. I got to pick it up soon. So
So then
I'll
after
show
that
it
you
off to
go.
everybody
So
else.
then what happens after that? You go pro or what's going on there?
After that summer, so the season ended September 1st. It was
Mhm.
season ended. And they gave me a good little bonus check at the end of hey, you did a hell of a
A
job. Here you
million? You
go.
got a million?
I wish. Not even close, man. It was one of those. We hope to see you next year, right?
Okay,
So
yeah,
I might look to them was I'm gonna be a little bit more expensive than this year with what I just did,
right.
And at the end, of course, you lived up to what we expected. Hey, man,
Hey,
you're good. You might whatever. So I come home a few days after, maybe September 4th, 5th or so. We drive down with my now wife.
yeah,
Her and I drive back down. She had gone over there for the last 2 weeks, so she was able to witness that with me.
nice.
She
Yeah.
experienced the whole championship. That to me was awesome, man. I mean, I loved having her there.
Is this her right here? Is that Marlene Gutierrez right there?
There she is.
Yeah.
Mira, I was able to witness. It was like, there you go.
Yeah.
And to me, man, having her there was awesome. I wish I could relive it just to feel that experience again.
Yeah.
Oye, que
He's talking about the rings that he's
The
had
ring.
a ring in the 7 months. And then you
Yo
got
también, mira.
yeah. Well, hey, you're gonna keep that one up for a long time.
Sí, míralo, ándale, Adán.
Yeah.
So, what's it called?
So now you're gonna go pro.
Yes, I come back and I get into the off-season mode. I'm gonna grind. I'm gonna see.
Well, you know what?
do.
Let me. My bad. And that's. I know I'm cutting you off, but sorry about that. I'm the host, ¿verdad? During that time, Ollie, it's very interesting because I was just thinking that. What kind of workouts were you doing? Like, does your teams take care of your workouts? Did you do your workouts during these past 4 years? Like, what were you doing to
pro ball and indie ball? You're on your own. I was. You're for the most part. Yeah, you can go with a buddy. Hey, one of your teammates, let's go hit the weights, and you can you can work out together. But I was on my own, and a lot of what I did was what I did in college, what I took from college my last 2 years, which is where I really saw that jump after rehabbing the shoulder and everything. I took all of that with me through pro ball, and that you're on your own, man. You're conditioning.
So whatever you learned in college, that's it. Good luck.
Yes, good luck. That's it. And even then, I will say this: I'm grateful for the opportunity.
Right.
The coaches are very knowledgeable. They were very talented in their days. But I didn't learn what I know now through them. I learned it through my personal experience.
Are you talking about college or the pros?
About baseball in general.
Okay.
About how to be a better pitcher, about
right.
Knowledge towards throwing, towards where your body needs to, getting technical workouts. I learned the majority on my own through personal experience.
Right.
And that's when I focused more on, okay, what do I need to do here? It is when I really saw that increase in, okay, now I get understanding.
So a lot of trial and error and stuff like that.
A lot of trial and error. The coaches kind of gave me the fundamentals in college, but it wasn't taking me to the next level. I didn't feel like it was. So I had to do something out on my own look for something else, seek videos, look at different trainers.
Because I hear that Anthony Luna has some pretty good workouts. No.
Anthony Luna is on another level. I already I got him with some stuff earlier today. I'm not gonna bash that guy today. Oilo. Yeah. So
Hey, that guy's a great guy. I like that. That guy's intense. That guy's intense.
He's intense. He's our weights guy with the kids, man.
Yeah.
Hands down. We need something with weights. Órale, Luna. Take care of him, bro. And
right.
he has the perfect energy levels for it. And if the kids can't challenge him because he's gonna do it much better than they are.
Oh, yeah.
Le quieren atorear, vámonos.
So you know, he gets a lot of the workouts when we're talking football and statistics. He's like, look, Anthony, this is the way you do it. Let me show you. Okay. You know, I said, no, he knows his stuff, man. Hey, I'm a fan of that guy, bro.
Yes.
And I am of you in your pitching world.
Anthony, man, yes, we've grown. Anthony and I grew up playing ball together through Palm Beach Boys and Girls Youth Club, select ball, all of that. Some of the championships that we won were there.
Nice.
The trophies that we received, first and second place trophies. That was it.
Yeah.
We were together in the team, and that was my thing. Since I'm an August baby, 1 year I played with the Mickey group, and then the year after I would play with the Anthony, the Lupes. Even Clarissa Navarro was in that group.
I've heard that name. Is she the one that would play like in the SEC softball?
Yes.
Oh yeah, I need to bring her on the show.
Oh, she was a stud, man. And so
I've heard that name.
I would play 1 year up, and then 1 year with the group that I feel like I was a little closer at the time with them. And still, I mean, I keep close with everybody.
You just got me excited talking about body development, man. I'm a big fan of developing the human body to perform at its max.
Yeah.
Like today, I was watching actually what's his name, Pavel. I mean, he was talking about kettlebells and progression overload and staying. We'll get into that here in a little bit, but man, that gets I get fired up when I talk about performance.
Speaking of body development, I went from weighing $160 my freshman year in college to my senior year weighing about 195.
Oh, there you go.
And that was that little transition, but it didn't really happen until my senior year, where I started taking that change. And that's kind of where I had stayed all throughout my collegiate career, or my pro career. También, I was there 190, 195. I would fluctuate, and
man,
I wasn't really.
You should have taken some of that For Life protein I offer, man. That protein's one of the best, man.
That's why I say I wish we knew now, or then what I know now. There's a lot of things, man, that are out there, resources that are available now that the children, the athletes can really take advantage of.
So you're working out on your own. Mm-hmm. You win the championship. Mm-hmm. How do you get to pro ball in Mexico?
I get a phone call, man. And I remember in college, I used to tell my now wife, like, hey, if Mexico's there, I mean, I'm gonna go play ball in Mexico. I wanna try it. It was not even close to being there at the time, Rudy. Yeah. I got lucky. Lucky by being given the opportunity. At that time in Mexico, they had just opened a new rule where they call us pochos, dual citizens. They were allowing an unlimited amount of pochos per team. They're going to count you as a Mexican, national, as long as you have a dual citizenship.
Okay, got it.
I didn't have it. I had to go and apply for it and get this whole process thing. When I got that phone call from the GM, who's actually out of Laredo, he calls me. He says, "Hey, I'm Fulano. I'm with the Pericos de Puebla and Liga Mexicana. I've been trying to reach out to you, and so I want to know if you're interested in coming to play ball for us." Where are you from? Puebla. Liga Mexicana. I don't know, man. It's Mexico, bro. I don't know. And now I'm like worried. And
but you already knew the Mexican League existed.
I knew it existed. I didn't know teams, Rudy. I didn't know teams. I knew it existed because I used to go play ball in Mexico on Sundays and here, and they used to tell me, "No, me al rato que llegues a Liga Mexicana y al rato." I used to say, yeah. My goal was big leagues, not Liga Mexicana.
Right. I mean, I don't know if you did know or didn't know. Like Payo, did you know Payo while he was playing in Mexico or no? Or not yet? Or you found out later?
I believe he was still playing in Mexico.
When you were gonna play, when you were about to play, or
No. I was in high school.
but you
I
knew
was in
that he
high
was
school
playing. I
yes,
see.
when I knew he was playing, and I remember I wanted to train with Pio, man. I wanted
Uh-huh.
to train with him. What was it, like my sophomore year in high school?
Right.
And he was a guy where, hey, pues, if I don't, si sé que le echas ganas, I'll work with you. Si no le
Right.
echas ganas, I don't. And he didn't know who I was, so I
Right.
told Coach Farias, hey, Coach, he's offering lessons. Hey, I want to work with him. He's like, I'll talk to him.
Yeah.
Well, no, I got rejected by Pio. I guess I don't know. I don't know if he didn't know who I was or if he didn't. He didn't know my work ethic. Era un escrape, no sé, no sé.
So then, what would you tell Adam Montalvo asking this question?
Ask Wally if he was a better pitcher than Pio. No comment. I will say, baseball wise, a lot of what I learned,
Hmm.
uh, mental toughness,
Yeah.
getting out there, grinding, a lot of it, I give credit to Pio.
Nice.
Um,
Yeah. It's always good to have those
baseball,
mentors, man.
he's
Always
very
good to have those
baseball
mentors.
savvy, man. Very baseball savvy. Um, he was the one who told me, "¿Qué tiene miedo? Órale, métele." Who I was talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Somebody told me that you got to go out there with that mindset. He was the one with that mindset, man. And he
Yeah.
was the one who said, hey, what are you scared of? He was coming back from a surgery, getting ready to go back out there, trying to still compete. Um, and I see him, practicing with me and vámonos. And he's working harder than me. And I'm thinking, man, I'm younger than this guy. You know what's going on?
Yeah.
How can this be? So I got a lot of that mental toughness through him, and he
Yeah.
knows. I mean, I'm very, very grateful. Baseball wise, if
Yeah.
I had a question, hey, can you review this video or whatever, se prestaba.
Yeah.
So,
So we're in Puebla. Talk
we're
to
in
us.
Puebla. I talked to the GM and I said, hey man, I need some time. Again, like I told the coach at Pan Am, how much time do I have? And I need some time, man. We're talking about.
You were your own agent, bro.
I was my own agent. I didn't have an agent. I didn't. How was I gonna get? I mean, I don't know, bro. It was just
Yeah.
one of
Yeah.
those. Okay,
Yeah.
¿qué
Yeah.
onda?
Which is
And I
good,
said the only reason why I asked for time for Puebla was the life. I thought, oye, ¿qué va a pasar? I don't know.
Yeah.
So I said, how much time do I got? He said, bro, you got 3 days. I said, okay. Let me talk to my girlfriend. Let me talk to my family. Make sure it's all right. So I talked to my girlfriend. She's like, well, I've always told you I would support you, but I don't know how I feel. It's scary. And I said, are you gonna hold me back? And well, no, I just, if you go, I'm gonna support you. Am I gonna be hurt? Am I gonna be scared or worried? Yes, but ni modo, dale, right?
Yeah.
So I tell my parents, my dad, no hesitation, go. And I'm like, Dad, do you not care about my life, bro? What's going on? He's like, no, hombre, tú dale, no te pasa nada, te van a proteger or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I call the GM. I'm very, very.
No worries. Go ahead. No worries.
So I call the GM. I let him know the following day, like, hey, you know what, man, I'm interested. I hadn't talked money with this guy. I hadn't talked anything. He just said, oh, you want to come play? He said, all right. I'm gonna give you a $1,500 signing bonus. Just sign the paperwork.
Oh, nice.
And then I'll pay you $3,000 a month. And I'm thinking,
that's a lot more than what you had been making.
way more than
with all this
$600, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, okay, yeah, pues no hesitation. Yeah, I'll take it, man. So he said, first you need to become a dual citizen. So I go through the process, sign the documentation. We're ready. Gives me my signing bonus. I go out there, spring training. And all of a sudden, spring training, I feel like a completely different guy. Not on another level, pitch body wise. I felt like I wasn't the same guy I was the year before. I felt like I lost something.
Did you stop working out or something? Or
no, I worked out even harder. I knew where I was going. I worked out even harder. I pushed. I went. And I mean, so I was thinking, okay, I got to go out there and perform. I didn't have the best spring training. And he talked to me after and he said, hey, man, I saw what you can do. I saw your numbers. You're going to play with Puebla. Okay. All right. He said, so just be ready. I wasn't going to close. Our closer there was a 13-year veteran for the big leagues. He had just gone that year. Our eighth inning guy, our setup was another like 6-7-year vet, left-handed, who was still throwing 98 miles an hour.
Oh, snap.
And our 7th inning guy got signed that year. Throwing 94. It's just.
So you're about to be in the company of a lot of very good pitchers.
Oh yeah. Very, very, very talented level of play in Mexico, man. Very competitive. So I go out there and I play a few games. It wasn't a successful stint. I came across a small little setback, a little injury in my tricep. So he sends me down to recover in their minor league system, which is known as at that point, it was the Liga Norte de Mexico. So now from Puebla, which is cold every night, I go to San Luis Rio Colorado, Sonora, which is border to San Luis, Arizona. Yuma,
man,
all that is over there.
Yeah,
it's hot, man. Dry heat, super hot. I go from Puebla, not performing too great, getting an injury, to San Luis and just tearing it up, man. Sub 1 ERA, like a .9 ERA.
Oh, nice.
Closer. I finished that year with them. We went from being last place to finishing second. We lost the championship game in 7 innings. We went to 7 series. And man, .9 ERA, 17 out of 18 saves. I lost 1. I finished second in saves behind a guy who had 18 saves. So I was 1 under him, and he was there the entire season. So I was throwing very consistently. Once I recovered, that hot weather, man, we're used to the hot humidity here. Over there was just dry, but the heat, man, I loved it.
You were in your element.
Oh, yeah, dude. So we're out there competing. I'm throwing no less than 4 out of 6 games. In Mexico, you play Tuesday through Sunday. Monday's your day off. So I'm throwing 4 out of the 6 games. You know, how in whatever order, Tuesday through Sunday, I'm going to throw 4 games. And then I got one week, I threw 6 games, all 6 games. But it was a lucky coincidence where we had a rain out, and then it was a doubleheader the next game. I was throwing a lot. So the guys were telling me, hey, ¿qué estás haciendo? ¿Te vas a lesionar here and there? Man, I'm feeling great. I'm taking care of myself. You know, we're doing our workouts, doing my conditioning, doing everything I need to do.
During that time, you're still working out on your own, or they have somebody work you out?
On my own. In with Puebla, you have your trainer, and he's gonna instruct you. Okay, he's gonna kind of guide you, and okay, this is what I recommend you do. This is what you got. You can decide to do it. You can do your own stuff. When it comes to conditioning and that, we did it all as a team.
Okay. Cool.
When you went to the weight room, you went as a team, but you would do your own thing. You know, that kind of stuff. So
we're working out together, but not together. Like we're all there at the same time.
You know what you need to do. Yeah. Your career is up to you. It's not going to be on us. It's up to you, that type of stuff. So you're out there, you're competing. And Puebla, your Liga Mexicana, that's like the big leagues here in the States, but for Mexico.
Right.
You're expected to perform. And if you don't, mochan cabeza, no mucha cabeza, pero vámonos on to the next.
You get cut.
You're cut. So I'm in Sonora having a really, really good year. I finished the year. We get second place. I talked to the GM. Hey, man, what's going on? And he says, hey, you're doing really great. You know, so I'm thinking of bringing you back.
And you're still getting paid the $3,000 a month in Sonora?
That was our agreement. He said, I'm going to send you down. Usually when they sent you down, they would cut your pay in half. And he told me, said, I'm going to give you your money. You're going to stay getting paid, whatever it is that you're getting paid. Don't worry. I was one of the few who had their personal apartments that I didn't pay for. There was a few of us. Another one was Henry Garcia. When he signed with Puebla, he went down there with me. He's out of Brownsville. Graduated 08.
Okay.
Cowboys, Brownsville. What is it, Porter?
I have no idea.
I believe it's Porter. I don't know. I don't want to. Anyway, another lefty. I remember my junior year, Mickey and him had a face-off during playoffs.
Oh, nice.
We won like 1-0 or something like that. He was another little stud. So we're out there. We were one of the few, man, that had that nice brand new apartment. We don't have to worry about anything. We're there. We were getting treated like big leaguers. My pay was the same. So I talked to the GM. He says, you're going to come back up. I said, okay. He says, for playoffs, haven't. So then he says, yeah, but we don't have the roster spot available. But if somebody goes down, you're the first man I'm calling up.
Okay.
I said, okay. That's fine. You know, that's fine. I'll be traveling. He says, no, well, you would be staying in Puebla when we travel. Y me quedé como, pues, ¿para qué voy a Puebla?
Right.
Dijo, no, pues you can still be here and work out. Pues if I'm not going to play, the team in California that I won the championship with the year prior is calling me, and they're offering me decent money, a lot more. I was getting offered like $2,300 over there. You could, bueno, pues it's not Liga Mexicana, but I went from 600 to 2,300. I'll do it to continue working,
Yeah.
So I said, I'm going to go play in California, bro. And he's like, no, you're not. I need to make money. So, well, I'm still going to pay you. I said, but I'm not going to play. I said, I want to play. I don't want to just, yeah, who
Right.
doesn't
Yeah.
want to be
Yeah.
getting paid? But like, I want to play, bro. I want to be there. Liga Mexicana. I want to be competing up there with the guys.
Yeah.
So he's like, no. Don't go play. I'm going to pay you until we finish, until we're done with playoffs. I'll take care of you. Don't worry. I went, no. So he said, you can go home, work out, relax, or you can come up here in Puebla and stay here in Puebla. I said, you know what? I'll go home. My birthday was coming up or something like that. So I said, I'll go home. I'll be with the family. If you need me, pues me hablas. Well, no, they didn't need me. They won the championship. And because I went home, I didn't get the ring. I got the money. The money, but I didn't get the ring. So I missed out on that. We won the championship that year, man. It was an awesome year. They set up a really, really great team. But because had I been in Puebla, I would have I'm sure I would have traveled with the team. Yeah. I would have gotten that ring. I mean, it would have been a participation trophy for being on the team, but it would have been something.
Yeah.
So it was one of those where it was, pues, that went all right. I had to live with that. And then he called me for the winter. Hey, we got a winter ball season coming. We want you to come out and play. It's going to be our own group here in Puebla. Come out here, get used to Puebla a little bit more. You're going to be our closer. Okay, that sounds good. And so I go out there and we're there. He said, I'm going to pay you the same, you and a few other guys. He said, but don't tell nobody because some of those guys might get upset that you're getting paid the same they are and they played the whole year with Liga Mexicana. And you had to get sent down for recovery purposes and all that. And dijo, so don't tell them. I'm not going to tell them. I'll be your closer. That's fine. Plus, I had to lie the entire time. Nah, man, I'm getting paid $1,200 a month. I'm getting paid $1,200. He thought, oh, shit, nah, I'm getting $3,000 or I'm getting $6,000 or I'm getting whatever. I just, it's just a small league. That one there is just a winter league. So, puro pedo. The cap was $3,000 for that league. I knew that they were getting $3,000. So, it was one of those like, I'm getting $1,200, man. One day I want to be like you. Yeah, that type of stuff.
Yeah.
So, I start off good, man. Have some really good outings. And then I have 2 bad outings. And he comes up to me. Y me dice el GM, hey, you have another bad outing? You're going to have to debate and work on your stuff at home. Like, I'm not going to be dealing with that. Y yo me quedé como, dude, I just threw a hell of a year with your minor league ball club, had a .9 ERA with all the innings that I have, and you're going to cut me for 2 bad outings. ¿Qué onda con este? So le dije, oye, está bueno. Le dije, pues, I'm working on it. I'm fixing myself up. Let me get out there and compete. So I get a good outing in, and then another shaky, a good outing, and then a bad outing. Yeah, me dice, hey, he didn't tell me. His assistant comes up to me and says, hey, you're not going to get on the bus. You're not traveling. What? I said, yeah, we're going to cut you. Okay. He said, we'll book your flight for next week. This was the day before Thanksgiving.
Oh, snap.
We're November. So I'm thinking next week, no. My grandmother had been very ill at the time. She was going through dialysis and all that. And ya estaba. So I'm thinking, I'm going home tomorrow. And he says, no, we got to look for the flight. Yeah, find the flight. Book it. I'm taking off tomorrow. He says, but we have to get you a bus to go from here to, because I don't pay for the flights. You don't pay for nothing over there. They pay.
Yeah. So
even return flights. So he said, we have to find a bus to take you from here to Mexico City, and then the flight from there to McAllen. I don't care. I'm going tomorrow. Figure it out. So he says, the earliest we got is 6 a.m. I don't care. I'll get my stuff ready, but you have to pack. Don't worry about me, dude. I want to get home. If I'm not going to be on the team, I'm going home. I'm
no business there.
So I came home, man. Awesome. Thankful to the Lord I made it. Fine, healthy. Was able to spend, Thanksgiving with my family. We went out, visited my grandmother and all that. And I get a call from the GM. And he just says, like, hey, man, just wanted to touch base. I'm kind of bothered that you didn't tell me. I've been talking to you this whole time, but you didn't tell me I was going to get cut. Yeah, I thought we had a pretty good relationship to where you would be the one to tell me, hey, you're not gonna make it, or you know what, we're gonna go another route. They go, no, 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 I was really busy. Well, no, that's fine. I said, but you're gonna compete here, and I want you to be back on my team. This was out of my hands. I couldn't control this. They go, I want you to come back to Puebla, and you're gonna play Liga Mexicana, and you're gonna have success. You got the arm, you got this. They go, I want you to be here, so I'm gonna help you. They go, I'm gonna call some teams up for you. I've already started calling. They go, expect somebody to call you. So if you get a call, answer it, negotiate your terms.
Why, Wally? So when they tell you to cut you, do you go through the same thing that happened to that guy that when you started breaking down when you told him you're going to be a closer, or how does that affect you mentally in your dream? Like, oh snap, I'm getting cut, or do you know that's just part of the grind that you're going to have to look for another team?
It wasn't the first time I was cut. The first time I was cut was with Edinburgh.
Mm.
And I was doing good in Edinburgh, which was, I was like, oh,
yeah, but you're doing way better. But you're doing way better over here.
Yes, I'm at another level, so I'm thinking, okay, pues qué onda, you know? My mindset was, I'm not done yet.
Right, because you're having a good year, I guess. You're still putting up the numbers.
Yeah, so I thought I'm not done yet. I'll play with another team. I'm sure I'll find a team, and they'll take me in, and I'll find a way. And I thought to myself, if I play with Puebla one day in the future, awesome. I'll show them that I was worthy of being on this team, you know?
Right.
But I did not like their weather. That was the only downside is I mean, it's beautiful weather to be out there, but baseball for me, it wasn't good. We crashed. So I get a call from a team. It was a new team. They were the Generales de Durango. They were formerly known as Los Delfines de Ciudad del Carmen. So Ciudad del Carmen, I guess funds ran out. So Durango purchased. They moved to Durango the same year that Reynosa lost their team, and they went to León, I believe. They became the Bravos de León. So that same year, those two teams were new teams. Generales, the general manager calls me and says, hey, Melendez, let me know about you. What happened? Are you hurt? What's going on? How's your arm? I'm good. Why'd they cut you? I said, I don't know. These were my numbers. I guess they didn't see me fit for the team. He said, well, he told me what you were getting paid, so how about we keep the same terms? Like, espérate, and all he's not negotiating for me. I'm negotiating, you know. So what's up? Let's up. He's like, no. So at the end, it was gonna be like $4,500 a month, everything paid for, taxis, buses, flights, whatever I needed, food, meal plans, rent. So it would add up to maybe about $5,500, you know. Pero like 4,500 las quiero libres. Está bueno. So I'm getting ready, man. This was the first day of December 1st, when I signed the contract. I sent it to him. I still have the email, man. And I'm excited. Yeah, I'm still I'm preparing, working out, getting everything ready, and myself ready. And December 25th, he sends me a Merry Christmas, que la pases bien con la familia, and pues likewise, you know, you too. And then February comes, and I never get his call. So I'm thinking, ¿qué onda? You know, what's going on? So
what's going on in February that he's
February spring training.
Oh,
we report to spring training. Sorry, yes, okay. February we report to spring training. So
so from December 1st to February, you're not over there. You're here.
We're grinding in the off season. Yeah, I'm at home. So preparing, like I said, preparing with the body and everything. So I never get it.
Are you getting paid, or you're not getting paid yet?
You only get paid while you're there.
I got you.
So I'm thinking in February, I'm seeing, you know, some of the other local players from here. There was maybe about 4 guys who were playing out there, 5 guys. And I see that they're reporting here and there. Y digo, oye, a mí no me han hablado. So I'm in touch with another local athlete who had just signed with that team as well. And I'm saying, hey, man, have they called you? Yeah, he just reached out to me. He booked my flight. A la manga, sigue. A mí no me ha hablado. ¿Qué está pasando? Well, call him up. I'm calling this guy for like 2 weeks. Calling him, messaging him, WhatsApp, every which way. No me contestan. I got some other teammates or ex-teammates telling me too, like, hey, call the league. Don't call him. Call the president of the league. Let him know what's going on. That team had something against the dual citizens. At least that was the word that was going on. Yeah, so they wanted to get rid of the whole dual citizenship, unlimited access. They wanted to put a limit to us. 6 to 8 guys per team, as opposed to you can have a whole team of pochos.
Yeah. Salud. Thank you.
So That's where I was really lucky in playing in Mexico. Without
Ándale.
that open, without that limitation being available, I probably would never get the opportunity because from the state, you have to go in as an import. Before the year that I went, you would have to go in as an import. In Spanish, eres un extranjero, meaning they're not going to take cualquiera, and there's only 6 imports that they take per team.
Right.
So you're going to be a guy with AAA big league experience.
Yeah.
Getting paid $25,000 a month on their $8,000 salary cap. Que no me oigan. But they're gonna be making that money, So it's
I'm gonna have to ask my friend Jesse Gutierrez about that situation.
digo yo que se cuajó mi Jesse, yo no sé. Pero it's one of those where ¿cómo se dice? I was lucky, man, because that availability began, and then the Durango calls me, and they were one of the teams who voted that they wanted to put a limit or a restriction to dual citizens. So I kind of got that vibe after they didn't call me that they signed me with a purpose, so that I wouldn't go. Or that was kind of my thing.
Right.
And I reached out to a few other teams. Aguascalientes, Veracruz, who had just moved to Laredo at the time. Now they're in Laredo, que son los tecolotes. I reached out to Tijuana, where Mickey was playing. I asked Mickey, I said, "Hey man, give me your GM's number. Let me hit him up." So I was contacting teams left and right, being my own agent,
Man.
And the one I talked to the most was Aguascalientes. So, and I had another buddy, Jose Pablo Yorvides. He's still playing well because of the whole situation right now. Todavía no, pero he talked to, I believe, the pitching coach for Aguascalientes as well. He reached out to him and said, "Hey man, I got this kid. He was playing with Puebla last year. You want to give him an opportunity. He's there if you need a roster spot." So people were reaching out for me as well.
Nice.
And I get in touch with their scout, and he sends me a message like, "Hey man, I just want to know if you were interested." Mind you, this scout, I hadn't seen his message. He had sent me a message on Facebook Messenger. I hadn't read it. He had sent it to me about a week after I signed with Durango. So I'm thinking, oh man, is this the same guy? So I go back and, hey, yeah, man, I'm interested. And he goes, "I just talked to the GM from Durango, and he said he signed, that he had you signed, that he had a few pochos and your name was up there." This is already fast forward into early March.
Man, that's a long
time. So
I'm
thinking, it was a while. So they oh shoot, that's when I was messaging with this guy. He told you he signed me? Yeah, he signed me, but he hasn't called me. And he's like, "I just spoke to him. I just saw him a few days ago, and he told me straight out, this is the list of the guys that I got, and you were one of the ones from the McAllen area." Y le dije, "The guy hasn't contacted me, bro. I called him for 2 weeks straight. Nothing has happened. Can you figure out something? I want to go play. If you have availability on your team." He's like, "I can't sign you. You're already signed. He has your contract. If you sign with me, you can get banned from the league forever. You're done. You cannot do that." So he said, "Well, what can happen?" I said, "I'm kind of getting, the short end of the stick here." I go, "Well, let me see what I can do." He called me in July.
But isn't the season already started?
Season's already started, man. Season ends mid-August. He calls me in July. "I just got the release paper. You're released. You're good to go." And I'm thinking, online? I said, I had been checking online. It never showed Generales de Durango signed Wally. Nothing ever showed, man. So I'm thinking, what happened? This guy was just holding my contract or what? So he calls me and says, "Hey, you ready to sign?" How much are we talking? Rudy, I had already started working at the credit union here, La Jolla Credit Union. I had just gotten that job. I was training kids. I wasn't training myself anymore at this point because it had already been so long. A few months had passed. I don't know what's going to happen. I said, "Well, how much are we talking?" Yo negociando sin el trabajo el cuerpo, Well, how much are we talking? He said, "Pues, I'll give you what Durango was going to give you." Like, "Did you talk to the guy?" Dijo, "No, what were they giving you?" He go, "Should I tell him my number or should I have to?" They go, "No, you know what? I had gotten offered 4,500, but there's a month left into season, man. I'm not going to go for 4,500. And he goes, "No, well, I can give you that." I'm not going to do that. I just started a job, bro. I'm making not that money at the credit union, but I was training kids and a good bunch of kids that I was making some decent money. Like, I'm not gonna go out there. They for no. They go, how much do you want? I'll take 10 grand. They go, what? I'll take 10 grand for the month. 10 grand? You only got like a month experience in Liga Mexicana. What are you asking 10 grand for? Our salary cap is 8. And I'm thinking, you can make it happen if you want. I'll be there for the final push, get into playoffs, and then from there we renegotiate our terms for playoffs. And I gave him that option, and he's like, no, you're crazy, man. You're asking for 10 grand. So how much do you want to give me? Like, I can't go for $4,500. He go, I'll give you 5 grand. I'm not gonna go for 5 grand, bro. I'm gonna go for a month. I have to quit my job, and then what am I gonna do when I get back? Come begging for the job again? I'm not gonna go, bro. Because if you want me to go, I'll go for 10 grand. Me go, pues you're crazy. I can't do 10 grand. I'll do 8. Dije, I'm not gonna go for 8. And I wasn't. My number was set in 10, Rudy. I told my family, I told everybody, I told my wife, I'm not gonna go unless it's $10,000.
Yeah.
And so because of that, I was gonna lose my job, and then what am I gonna do?
Yeah, because you kind of already said here.
I wanted to make sure I had a couple months after I came back. Okay, I have these 10 grand. I'm gonna have a couple months of money there reserved. Right. So me dijo, te doy 8,000 si quieres. Like, no, I'll take the 10 grand, and that's it, man. If you don't want to give it to me, we're done. I'm not gonna go play, and that's it. Dijo, no, pues I can't give you the 10 grand, man. Dijo, that's all I need. 10 grand, and that's it. Yeah, if you don't want to give me for playoffs, you don't have to. Dijo, bueno, pues let's do it. Le dije, okay, deposit it tomorrow. Y dijo, no, we don't work like that. I need to deposit the money tomorrow. Dijo, no, we don't work like that, man. You pay, you play, and then after 2 weeks, I'll give you 5, and then I'll give you another 5. Le dije, no, I'm sorry, bro. Le dije, pero I was supposed to have been getting paid this whole time, and I didn't receive not one dime.
Yeah.
I need that money in my bank soon, before I take off. I want that money. We don't work like that, man. Dijo, I'm sorry. Dijo, then I'm not going to go play. I'm sorry. Y dijo, no, what do you mean? I heard it from everybody. ¿Estás loco? ¿Por qué no vas a ir a jugar? ¿Qué onda? ¿Te están dando la feria? No me lo dan. If they see me one day, my body wasn't ready for it. Really, I'm telling you. I was trying to negotiate it. So if I'm going to go one day, me cortan, I'm not going to get a dime.
Yeah. I'm
not going to get anything. Right. So I said, it was risk everything or nothing. So
right.
I risked it all and got nothing. Come November, I get a phone call, same guy. Hey, you want to come out and play? But it's not going to be 10 grand. It's going to be a longer season. We'll help you out. And they go, nah, man, you know what? I'm gonna focus on something else. I had already started with the teacher builder program, focusing on getting certified and all that. So I said, you know what, man, I'm going another path.
So after that was the end of your career, your baseball career.
That was it, man. That's the way it ended. It was a little short stint right there with that team, wherever it's at.
Yeah.
And I mean, I lived it. I enjoyed it. I tell the kids I'm not satisfied. I was never one to get satisfied or anything, but you know what? I'm okay with myself porque I went as far as I could, hice lo que se pudo, luché, trabajé lo más duro que pude.
Right.
And the end result wasn't the big leagues, but that's as close as I got.
Yeah.
And which is,
but there's no doubt in your mind that you did what you needed to do.
Yeah, there's no doubt, man. At that point, you're 26 years old, throwing 88 to 92.
Man, at a certain point, you be realistic. You're like, okay, 92, it's probably right-handed. It's going to be tough to make the majors.
And you can make it with that. You can make it with 88, but you got to have crazy numbers, man.
Yeah.
Dominate. You gotta be your secondary pitch has to be out of this world. So I was a pretty common style pitcher, 88 to 92, 3/4 arm slot, hard slider. They saw that a lot. So man, I got lit up a little bit over there by remember I struck this guy out, man, and he was a former big leaguer. No shame at all. I mean, he got one off me. Alex Lidi. An Italian guy. He's playing with Tigres de Quintana Roo. So I'm thinking, hey, this is the team, this is the team. Quintana Roo. Jorge Cantu was there, who's also from the Valley, Reynosa area. He was playing with that team at the time, and I'm thinking, I got to get these guys, I got to get them. And they were in the heart of the lineup, 3-4 hole. So I'm thinking, I got to get them. Plus, Jorge Cantu got me twice, and base knocks. And then Alex Leedy, the first time around, I struck him out. Boom, I feel good. Oh, I got him. And everybody's like, hey, what are they? ¿Qué está con otro? I got him. So I go back out. I threw 3 innings that game. The third inning, I face him again. And they say, okay, similar concept. How am I going to attack this guy? Should I reverse it? Should I not? It's a thinking game from then on. So I'm thinking, okay, let me see what I can do. So I set him up good, man. 0-2 on this guy. Thinking I got him. I sealed him up. He was nowhere near the slider. Said, okay, slider away, way away and low. That was my aiming point. And está muerto, you know, in my mind. I think that'll be another strikeout on this guy. Ex-big leaguer, I take some pride. Because I left it right down the middle, bro. Put me deep center, man. In Puebla, you're about 6,500 feet above sea level, so the ball flies.
It flies.
No, hombre, bro. Took me deep center over the man. We don't have him in high school. So he took me deep, bro, and I'm thinking, God darn, man, you know. But that's what happens. That's the level of competition you're playing against. You make a small mistake like that, or a big mistake, and it's you're gonna pay for it, man. Yeah. So dime.
All right, so you know I mean, one of my favorite things about listening to baseball guys like you and Payo and, you know, different guys that talk to me about baseball, like Jesse. I've talked to Jesse. Mm-hmm. Like, I know he hit one. He told me about he hit one off of Sheffield. What's his name? Sheffield?
Mm-hmm.
Or that guy?
Or no.
The Red Sox guy. What's his name? See, I'm not a big baseball fan.
Kurt Schillings.
That guy, I think, and he tells me, you know, I hit a bomb off him in the, everybody's got the stories, right? Either you struck someone out. That's pretty cool. I'm interested. It was. The question I'm asking is, or that I'm going to ask is, in the Valley, is there a lot of baseball coaches that have a lot of former, like you, that did some kind of pro ball? Like I know Payo did coaching. He had pro ball. Like, or is it like 50-50 or a third of the coaches have pro ball? Or
I'm not too sure. Like I know, Mackay Pompa had some pro experience. I believe he got drafted and all that back in his day. Yeah. I know he had some experience. Shoot, man. I believe, I don't know if Roque had some time in Liga Mexicana. Roque's in Rio Grande City. He was a left-handed pitcher as well. I mean, I wouldn't say it's 50-50 by any means. Right. I wouldn't say that. Pro ball, no. College ball, maybe you're a little closer, but pro ball, no. Yeah, and even then, I don't think college ball. I don't think there's too many that played. And you can break the numbers down. I mean, you can go, JUCO and AIA, D3, D2, D1. The numbers are just gonna
because not everybody makes it. It's hard to make it to that level. So your accomplishments are big time. Either way, and the reason I'm asking that is because, but like you said, a lot of the stuff you learned was in college, the weight training and all that, and then a lot of trial and error, which to me helps you a lot now where you are. Yeah. Right? Mm-hmm. Bickerton, somebody saying something about Bickerton. He played.
Bart played ball. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So my thing is,
he probably still throws 90, man. That guy's never lost his arm.
So me thinking is you gained a lot of knowledge, whether it was mostly in college. What can you share with us? What kind of experiences you had that now you implement with your coaching style?
It was tough, man. I'll go to. It was a tough transition because I'm used to. ¿Qué onda? Vámonos duro y aquí allá. And so you come to these to the high school level children. Now you're working in education. You have to watch what you say. You cannot motivate. My motivation was sometimes cuss words, man. Órale, vámonos, and you say these things, and now you gotta be very careful with what you say, when you say it, how you say it, how it comes off, and it gets tough. But the transition was a little bit of, surprising to me. But the harder part, I will say this: the harder part was some of the kids that. Before I became an educator, I trained when I was doing the trainings. I
Yeah.
was able to work with a few of the kids that are in the La Jolla, Mission, in all of
Right.
our areas. So some of these kids know me as Wally.
Mm.
So I deal with some of these kids, and somebody hears, pues this Wally. I don't get the, hey, coach, what's up? I get the,
Right.
¿qué onda, Wally?
Right.
From
Right.
these
Right.
kids. Ya
Right.
son raza todos, se creen muy grandes.
Yeah.
And it's, ¿qué onda,
Just-
Wally? ¿Qué hay por ahí, ¿qué onda, coach? And I'm thinking, coach, and I
Yeah.
got over it. I'm like, all right, whatever. Like, it's
Yeah.
fine. Just as long as they have the level of respect.
Right.
No hay problema. The ones who call their attention is Mario Flores, Coach Flores. Like,
Right.
hey, it's coach or it's Barrera. Which one?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's like that, coach. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
really enforce that as much.
What about your
It's kind of
training? What about your training methods?
training methods? So I'm a big long toss guy because that helped me. That really did help me. And then the other thing that really helped a lot was bands. I use the J bands a lot, which I should have some laying around. But J bands, man. So the J band, they're bands. They're like therapy bands.
Right.
The
Yeah.
J bands is a brand.
Right.
They're two linked to one, and they have the little Velcro straps. And I always did my pregame routine and right before I pitched routine. So I use those bands all the time. My goal with the players, and it's what I tell them, but it's up to them. Right now, I can't work with them. There's times I tell them, if you guys can get to using those bands and feel warm, before you start throwing, you feel good, as opposed to you're feeling pain, you're feeling sore because it's like a little mini workout.
Yeah.
Now you're at another level with the bands and your muscles, your tendons.
Right.
But it's hard, man. You see these kids, and those bands will really kick them in the rear end. So I use the bands a lot. I use the long toss a lot. A lot of core exercises in terms of with the kids. I mean, I try and see where I don't mess with mechanics. I don't really mess with the mechanics on the
Interesting.
players unless I see it's a really, really big flaw that might affect them. But we got a pitcher, man, and right now he'll be a junior this year. When I first saw him throw, I didn't think he was going to pitch. I didn't think he was. I mean, he didn't throw hard. He didn't, and his mechanics were a little off. And I was actually just telling him, like, hey, if you're gonna long toss, kind of try raising your arm a little bit. Like,
Right.
I don't want you to get an injury. And then my first year coaching, I'm the varsity coach. I'm getting calls from coaches across the valley. ¿Qué crees que vas a hacer la diferencia? No, ¿qué onda? Seventh place and all this, in district. So it was already one of those, and I'm like, well, I don't want to get an injury on my list, So I'm like, hey, raise your arm up a little bit. Why are you doing like that? That's his arm slot, man. So I never messed with him. It was just when he threw far, when he threw long, that's all I asked is, hey, try raising your arm a little bit. I don't want you to strain yourself. You're going to start falling back. You can cause, your elbow, something. Just if you're going to long toss, raise your arm up. That kid ends up tearing it up his freshman year. He threw in the biggest games, some of the biggest games that we competed on, and performed really, really well, where it was like, wow. He really surprised everybody.
He was a freshman playing varsity.
He was a freshman playing varsity.
I see.
Freshman playing varsity. He might be watching. But he did really well, man. We threw him against the number one team of the nation at the time. I'm not sure if they're like a 3A or 4A school, but number one in the nation. They had like 91 players graduating. So it was we threw him against him at the Laredo tournament, and this kid, he hadn't thrown a bullpen, Rudy. I hadn't worked with him on the mound ever. I didn't know he pitched. Coach Zuniga's with us, and Zuniga had him a challenge.
Oh man, Zuniga.
Zuniga, man. So Zuniga's like, hey, why don't we throw this guy? He's got veins of ice, bro. Like he'll go out there. He's ice cold. He doesn't care. The pressure doesn't faze him. And I'm thinking, I haven't worked with him. What's going on? He's a gamer. Don't worry. Like, just go with him. He competes everywhere.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, okay, Zuniga, let's go with you. It's not going to be my fault. It's going to be Zuniga's fault. I didn't recommend him, one of those. Well, the kid did really good, man, against this team that's stacked. They were really frustrated. He wasn't throwing hard, like 76 to 78 miles an hour, moving all of his pitches, locating like crazy. he left the game tied 1-1 in the sixth inning. So it was one of those like, what? This kid held him back. So we throw him against Mackay. He beats Mackay. We throw him again against Mackay. Does well. I mean, this kid was just surprising us. And
Yeah.
if I recall, he's already picked up his velocity closer to 10 miles per hour from where he was his freshman year
Really?
now.
Really?
So he should be in the mid 80s range right now. And that La Jolla is looking really good, man. It looks like my job might be easy to some coaches, but they're trying to keep these kids healthy and their education, man, making sure they stay on top of the grades. That's going to be key for them. Solos van a hacer el trabajo, Rudy.
Right.
And that's what I tell them. I'm not going to take away your credit as a coach. When you succeed, when you have your success, I know it's happened before where we finish a game. Mario gives me the opportunity to call pitches, and I know it's that he can blame me if we lose or if my pitchers have a bad game or something happens. I know that's fine, but I'll take it. I like to read hitters, and I try and see, and I'll even guess. He's going to do this, he's going to do that.
Yeah.
And 10 times out of 10, I'm correct, but no, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
So it's happened before where the game ends and coaches will all congratulate each other. Normal. You may say, "Hey, hell of a game, man. Hey, no me digan a mí. Dile al niño."
Yeah.
Hey, you did a hell of a job calling the game. I didn't throw the rock. Tell the kid to throw the rock. And I make sure the kids know that. Yeah. I'm not going to take credit from them. You can ask all my pitchers. And I tell them this almost every day that I have an opportunity. If we're going to condition, I'll try and condition with them. I'll go warm up with them. I'll do everything with them. I want to make sure that we have that relationship. Yeah. That's something I want to build because I see I don't want to just live on the sidelines, man. Just coaching, do this, do that. If I can be active with them, let them know, like, hey, this guy, man, he's still trying to be young, or he's helping us out, or he warms up with us and he's still there competing with us, helping us try to compete more. I want them to get that from me,
it's important that kids feel that what you're saying, because there's a quote that I learned. Actually, I learned it here when it wasn't from baseball. I learned it from my boss there in the office at the rec center there, like Marymount. His quote in his emails was always, we don't get old because we stop playing. No, we don't stop playing because we get old. We get old because we stop playing. Yeah. Right. So, I mean, even now, I'd like to make sure, like you say, hey, the kids need to be knowing that you're active. You can still do it, demonstrate and all that stuff. I want to talk about you're a very special case. And I mean, not you as a coaching staff there in La Jolla, very special case. But before I ask those questions, in Mexico, just one final question about your experience over there. Is juicing normal, or did you ever see anyone juice up or take certain things? Because, the major leagues, of course, we have that incident with the local kid here from the Valley. And because to me, on a very personal, adults, majors, Lance Armstrong, the whole deal. Lance Armstrong always says, well, yeah, I was taking it, but I had to take it to be fair amongst the riding, the cyclists in the Tour de France. To me, it's like, okay, so, what is it? Barrera gets caught or whatever, whatever's going on in that. I don't know.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. But to me, it's like, why not just, that's what I'm asking about Mexico.
Not me, Barrera. No, the other.
The other. Whatever it is. I don't know how it works. I don't know how it works in Mexico, but I'm saying, why not just make it fair? Because I'm sure people do it. I'm not going to be naive and say, this is a very personal opinion. I'm sure people do it. Why not just make it fair for everyone to do it? So my question is, was it normal in Mexico, or people didn't do it, or can you comment, or you got to plead the fifth?
I will have to plead the fifth.
Okay.
No comment. No comment.
All right.
No comment.
Right. No worries. I understand.
It's something that you're not going to take away from the game in any game, in any sport, in all levels. Even at the college level.
Because we've seen some big time Melbourne B players that have admitted to it or got caught.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I've played with guys, college and pro ball, that were on it or did it in the past. You don't take it away from them, man. You don't take it away from them. That's something they did. Um, it's tough. It's really, really tough. In baseball, okay, it will give you the strength. It might give you some velocity. It could also get you injured, you know,
Right. Yeah.
but you still got to hit the ball and you still got to throw strikes if you're a
Right.
pitcher.
I mean, I don't.
So
Yeah. Go ahead.
it's kind of one of those where okay, you still got to hit the ball. Now, yes, you might have the edge. A ball that would have, been a regular routine fly ball to outfield might be going over the wall. Or a
Yeah.
pitcher who was throwing 88 is now throwing 94, and that gives him the shot to go to the show. I don't
Right.
know what the scenarios are, but you still got to throw strikes. You still got to be effective. You still got to hit the ball. I'm not saying I'm for it by any means. I'm not saying
Yeah.
I'm for it, especially if it damages your body. No.
Exactly. And that's where I was going. I want to make sure that whatever youngsters are watching this, um, my comments are for major league players that are 25 and up,
Yeah.
or maybe even 23, because at a youth, knowing what I know now, the endocrine system and your body's still not developing.
Get on some for life, baby.
Hey, I'll tell you what, though. I mean, we could. I mean, that's a whole other. I could be here marketing. I could go into a good 30 minutes explaining how it helps, but you know, I think you. ¿Cómo te diré? I'm very. It's a privilege or very fortunate. For example, you say you had a freshman, and we know there's another freshman. It's a double-edged sword. One is it's great because you can also say, like, now you have a responsibility of forget developing them for your varsity team. It's more, I need to get these guys ready for D1 baseball.
Yeah,
Like,
and ask them
you know what I'm
again.
saying?
You ask them. You can ask them any day. I mean, you know what guys I got. They came through your program,
Yeah, I know.
and I mean, there's a lefty throwing 90 miles an hour. There's a righty throwing 90 miles an hour, and there's another righty throwing 86, and another righty throwing 86. We got a staff. We'll
Right.
compete in the Valley. We should be the top team or one of the top teams in the Valley. And I don't have a doubt. I mean, I saw it this past year in Laredo that one of our kids shut down the San Antonio Brandeis School, who's a top team in their district, shut them down, had like 14
Hey.
strikeouts, complete game.
Yeah.
I mean, kid had a game, man. And we have some studs. We have some
Yeah.
guys. I hope this pandemic slows down so we can get back on that field, man. Because these kids really have an opportunity to play D1 and hopefully excel and go further. I tell them that all the time. If your goal is to be a varsity baseball player, something's wrong, man. And if you're content with that, hay algo mal. Then okay, you play high school and that's it. Se olvida de todo. Be the best high school baseball player you can be or athlete.
Yeah.
But when you set your goal beyond that, and I'll ask them, hey, what is it they want to accomplish? And those, no, pues, well, I want to throw 90. Okay. Well, you can throw 88 like I did and still make it to D1. And then from there develop, So I'm
Right.
thinking, okay, you want to throw 90. But what else? Like, what do you want to do? Well, I want to be an all-stater, coach. Okay. Well, that's a little bit better, but is that it, dude? Like, you don't want anything like, all-stater? That means you become an all-stater. That's it. That's your goal.
Yeah.
Ya no hay más. That was your peak. No, I would like to play college. Do you have a choice of where? Do you know what level of play you would want to go to? Well, no, I don't know. Some of them say no. Others say, yeah, I want to play at a big D1. We know that some of our kids there in La Jolla have a very good opportunity of playing at a really good school. So for them, I understand why they don't know yet. I'm going to have options, you know. But and then I'll ask, is that it though? D1, that's it. Why is that your end goal? So then they say, no, well, I want to make it to the big leagues. Okay. So every time I ask you, that needs to be your response. And they're on it. Hey, what is it they want to accomplish? Do you want baseball just for right now, just for a little bit of fame right now in high school? I was a really good high school pitcher. No, coach, I want to make it to the big leagues. Okay. Yeah. Now that's a goal that you can reach for. And that was what my goal was. So I was never satisfied with college. I was never satisfied when getting cut with pro ball, that because my goal was the big leagues.
Yeah.
So I had in the back of my mind, I said, no me puedo agüitar, no puedo llorar, no puedo decir, ya las di, ya ni modo, I'm not going to play no more. No, a seguirle because the goal is big leagues.
The reason I was asking you that question, those kids is how does that the mental focus, having that kind of talent, how do you prepare for that as a coaching staff and saying, okay, forget the valley here. We got to get these kids like, do you rate yourself or like from your experiences, your training methods? Are you always learning? Do you tweak it? Like, give us a little insight on the coaching mind on how you approach those kind of athletes or
Everybody's different.
those kind of baseball players.
Everybody's different. You have the athletes that put in the work, that are dedicated, like an Adan Montalvo type of deal, who he knew, football, basketball. He had to separate his time, get his workouts in, still practice for basketball. Do not. You have those kids who know what they want and put the time. You tell them one time, I want you to do 10 sprints because you're done with your workout. They're gonna do 15 on their own. We have those kids, and then we have the kids that I want you to do 10 sprints, and they do 2 and walk the rest, and they're done. If you don't keep an eye on them, they won't do it. That type of stuff. So everybody's different. You do have to modify what you got for them. The end result must be the same. ¿Me entiendes? For all of them. So eso está parejo. Workouts, yes. We have to modify based off of who's going to pitch, when are they going to pitch. There's certain things they can do depending on the certain days that we're in the week. Is it a practice day? Is he going to pitch in a day? Is he going to pitch in 2 days, 3 days? What does he have? And I have everything scripted based off of what I experienced. So I'll try and follow that as best as I can. High school is very, very hard though. Schedule wise, practicing with the kids, you don't get strictly POs. We call them POs, pitcher onlys. You don't get that. They all play a position. Right. So in college, you're a PO 95, 98% of the time. You're going to focus and you're going to be with a group of pitchers. That's all you're going to work on. Right. And that's it. You're done with your day. In high school, it's when can I get him or them, that I need to bring them in because they're going to get their field practice. They're going to get their hitting practice. When can I get them to pitch? But I think Flo knows the level of importance that pitching takes. I think he knows the level of studs that we have to where, okay, if I need to take the pitcher somewhere, I'm going to take them. And if you don't have good pitching, how do you expect to stay in the game? No problem. He knows that, and he tells me, hey, you take them when you need them. You take them when you want them. Right. I just have to work with the kid. No quiero que se me agüiten. Pues I only did pitching. I didn't go hit or I didn't go do this. So I try and work with them. You have to modify it. Their weights, their conditioning, what they're doing on different days. I see something with them. Some of them they're not at the same level athletically. Right. They're not. So you want one to grow and be competing. Well,
that's why they should play basketball. That's why I tell everybody, just play basketball. You get athletic. ¿No entienden?
You do, and it helps. It helps. It helps. Some stay slow, but it helps. And I have nothing against dual sport athletes. I have nothing against athletes who play different sports. I coach football and I coach baseball. You play another sport, play it. Of course, you're worried. There's a risk that they might get injured, especially if it's football or basketball. They land wrong, God forbid, something, their ankles, their knees, anything, man. So, but every sport plays a part, and every sport focuses on a different skill that is going to help development for whatever it is that you choose to do. I know I hated soccer and I never played it, but I was always told you should go play soccer. For what? Well, these big leaguers during their off season, they play soccer for about an hour and a half a day, every day. And that's what they're doing. Well, should I play soccer? I'd probably fall and trip myself in soccer. I never played it, but it was one of those where I need to do something.
I need to do more and you know what? I need to do it because I've been procrastinating my research. Yo me voy en unos viajes, bro. I love research. And one of the researches that I need to go into, and is I understand the fast twitch fibers. I understand speed, and I have a theory that I need to prove either correct or incorrect. Is if I know I'm kind of 80% más o menos is fast twitch fibers, you do sprints, you play basketball or football, whatever it is. I guess especially when you're not in baseball season, if you're working on your fast twitch fibers, there's got to be a connection of fast twitch fibers in that throwing arm. Of course, that's why I'm asking you, because you're the pro of baseball. There's got to be a connection to where the faster you are, more likely, not in all cases, but more likely, you're gonna throw faster. Am I way off on that?
No, there was actually that was one of the things that helped me increase velocity in high school when I went from being a 82 guy to 85 to 86 and then 88 towards the summer. Working on that fast twitch, and one of the exercises we did for that was doing like an over under. Getting like a overweighted baseball, heavier baseball, and then getting an underweighted baseball. Right. So I got a 6 ounce baseball or 7 ounce baseball. Right. A regular baseball is 5 ounces. So 6 or 7 ounce, and then you get a 3 ounce. You know, but it's hard. I don't want, if there's kids who are watching, and some of them probably already training with somebody who knows about it. If they don't know what they're doing with the over underweight stuff, don't even mess with it, man. It can really cause an injury. So
you got to know what you're doing when you're
training. You got to know what you're doing. You got to know how to manage it. You got to know how many throws. You can't go out there crazy. It's todo tiene su
it has its method. It's like running sprints. You run a sprint, 100-yard sprint, and then 30 seconds later you're running out. It's like, hey, wait a minute, you still need 5 minutes to relax. Everything has its method.
Hands down, the over under, I guess, method was to cause what we call muscle confusion. Okay, so your muscle will stay stagnant and will learn 90 miles an hour, right? Let's say when I learned it. Now, that's as hard as I'm going to go. 90 miles an hour. That's what my muscle learned. 90, 90, 90. So what can I do to try to make it throw hard, to try to make my arm throw harder, and expand that beyond the 90? Try to create the muscle confusion. So I throw a heavier ball, which is going to make me throw slower, 80, 82, and then I get the 3 ounce ball, which I'm going to throw 94. So your arm is producing 94 miles an hour on that lower baseball. You're getting faster. So now you get the 5 ounce ball and you're trying to get that up to that, over 90. Though the other thing, fast twitch, muscle confusion, over under baseball, man, I just lost it.
It's okay. You'll come back to it. Check this out. Let me share this with you real quick, and the audience too who's watching. I just learned, because the progressive overload, and progressive overload, it's the new, that's the way you get bigger, that's the way you get stronger. I learned watching this guy. I'll shoot you the link to this guy. He explains it a lot better, and I'm going to explain it right now. But the progressive overload is, you lift, let's say 100 pounds, 100 pounds in the squat, the bench, whatever you want, 100 pounds. And then a week later, the idea is you're going to add 5 pounds. And you want to go from the 8 to 12 or even 15 range without to failure. Don't go to failure, right? And you're in that 8 to 12. And then a week later, 2 weeks later, you add 5 pounds. A week later, 2 weeks later, you add 5 pounds. The science, when you're talking about science, it shows that instead of making the jump every week to 2 weeks, now it's stay where you are until you get to 15 reps without max to failure, where you're comfortable with it, because now you're really strong. And instead of making little jumps, you make a big jump. Instead of 5 pounds, you go 20 pounds. You just click that memory or that knowledge that I just gained is because you're talking about the over and under, and you go over, get stronger. But now when you go down and see some Olympic weightlifters they drop down, and they're like, okay, I already lifted. What they call peaking in track and in weightlifting is I peaked. Okay, now let me go back and start training again.
Yes.
The method, there's a big method. And man, I love learning this stuff because it's okay. Now, how am I going to implement this in my program at Chavez Middle School? Because I got to hey, I'm going to get these guys ready. Like, I don't see it as a junior high. I'm like, these guys need to go with them. Pobrecitos, bro. I start throwing a bunch of jargon out there explaining. It's like, you guys need to know, because when you leave here, at least you're gonna take some of this knowledge that I've gained.
Well, you're doing something right, bro.
Right. You gotta learn something.
Baseball. You're doing something right.
So,
I mean, I can vouch for baseball 100%.
well, thank you for that. So
No,
we try
no,
to train them mentally to be ready.
yes, going to dropping the repente and all that in baseball. What we've
Hmm.
seen with velocity, when you're working on increasing velocity,
Yeah.
I've seen it. I've experienced it. You're working. When I first started long tossing, I see this big old jump, 5 miles per hour increase. 5 mile an hour. Oh
Right.
wow, that's a big jump.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, I stay there. Kind of going back to you stay stagnant at that. And then de repente, I'm still trying. I'm long tossing. I'm working. I decreased back down, and
Uh huh.
I'm down there for maybe a month or so. From 85, I went back down to 82, and it's like, what's going on?
Mm.
Why? Te estás matando, and you're working. But then all of a
You think you're
sudden,
overworking, maybe?
no. Well, that could be one. But what happened with me and what I've seen with others is the next spurt that I got, that I jumped, I went from 82. I was 82, 85, 82, 87.
Mm.
So it's one. I don't I don't know if maybe you're overworking and you kind of stay there, but then all of a sudden you get that jump. So before that big jump, you kind of go back down a little bit.
Yeah.
And at least that was my experience. Y luego, boom, brincas. Y dices,
Yeah.
oh gosh. So now I got to
Yeah.
work to get over here. And how do I get further? You're creating that muscle confusion. You try to work with a lot of different things to try and get you up there.
You talk about high schools, and it's tough, and I think every high school coach is tough with, especially baseball, basketball, the skills. It's a big
Mm-hmm.
skill.
Mm-hmm.
How do you implement the weight training?
It's hard, man. So a lot of the focus is in the fall. A lot of the focus
Get
is
strong. Get as
during the
strong as you're gonna
fall.
get during the fall.
Yes, get as strong as you can get during the fall. That's when all you can do is work with them. UIO restrictions. You only
Right.
have your athletic period. So a lot of the times, 3-4 days out of the week, you're in the weight room. And the other 2 days you might work, but you're telling they're usually playing fall ball. They're usually still active with baseball.
Mm.
So we worry about getting them stronger, and they'll worry about athletically. From there, I know for us, we'll try and instruct them. Okay, this is what we're gonna have. This is what we're gonna work on. But sometimes, man, time gets you, or you can
Right.
plan for something, and it looks, hey, we didn't plan for rain. What are we gonna do now
Right.
for rain? Oh, you know what? It worked out. We're gonna get to the classroom. Let's discuss what we got to do in the classroom,
Right.
with the kids. And uh, it's sí se pone duro,
Yeah.
tratando de manejar todo. And I try to pick, as many pitching coaches years as I can, and try to learn from them, the ones who have the further experience in high school coaching and all that, because I came from college pro ball where your time and dedication is pitching and that's it,
Yeah.
to all of a sudden it's like, man, I got to share these guys,
Yeah.
because who knows, that kid might become the next first baseman at a big D1 as opposed to a pitcher. Who
Right.
knows? It's one
Yeah.
of those where you
Yeah.
don't know where they're heading. You have an idea, but you're not going to take that away from them. So I try and pick, man. I try and pick as many years as I can. When it comes to the coaching aspect and how they work with it, how they schedule their workouts, their routines. I know Sherryland has a really, really good routine with Bickerton, and I know his son, I believe, is very incorporated there, and that works out. Father-son duo, they know what they want, and they
Yeah.
know what they accomplished with the arms. Bickerton, a pitcher, his son, a former pitcher.
Yeah.
So they got this whole setup. You see the kids when they go to the fields, and they all have their bands, they have their setup. They got a really, really good pitching program there.
I got
They
you.
can afford it. I gotta find something or some donors for some bands, for some stuff, so that all my guys can have them, and we can get going
Hey,
from there.
Mendezville ISD has plenty of budgets, bro. I don't mess around with
What's
budgets at
up?
Mendezville ISD. We give
What's
money. Mendezville ISD gives money to the students no matter what. We spend everything. But anyway, that's just a personal view on Mendezville. All right. In the aspect of parenting,
Yeah.
y- y- my big thing is one of the biggest criticisms that I have from being a fan of the coach, not forget the kids, being a fan of coaches, is when coaches tell me, well, I'm losing my seniors. Well, yeah, but you have your players for freshmen, sophomores, and junior.
Mhm.
To me, I guess the ego part of me is like, oh, I'm such a good coach. I'm such a good coach. Well, you're such a good coach, and you have such a stacked team. that means developing them. I
Yeah.
don't. Granted, we do understand that parents are going to help you, and 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years old, 9, 10, 11, 12, junior high coaches are going to help you. I personally don't like it when coaches tell me, well, I'm losing my seniors. Pues sí, pero te están pagando para que agarres los freshmen, sophomores, y juniors que prepáralos. But that's just
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
How hard is it, or am I way off, or am I too much of a critic, or for having that expectation of a development program?
Pitching, throwing hard, it takes a while. Being able to throw velocity takes a while. Not every child is going to have the velocity.
Right.
Not everyone, and
So
you're going to see.
it's kind of like being fast. Some kids are just going to be faster than others.
Yes, it's one of those where you don't teach it. They have it or they don't. If they have it, you can teach more. If they don't,
Right.
there is a possibility.
Right.
But now you're talking: are they going to grow? Are they not? What is going to happen? Height plays a big role.
I mean,
In
it's a
most
good.
cases.
I'm glad you say that because parents need to know that too.
Height plays a big role in most cases. You got Lupe Lopez, like I mentioned
Right.
earlier, who was 5'7", 5'8", throwing 92 as a junior. Very, very crazy. But that kid, his motion was, I mean, one of the most athletic I've seen. Very vulgar when he pitched, very
Right.
out there. I mean, it was scary, man. It was scary to confront him. He was coming at you and hard. And then you have a former big leaguer like Tim Lincecum, small guy, maybe like 5'10", 5'11", también, small for a pitcher, about a $160, throwing 101 miles an hour at his peak.
Oh snap!
¿Me
Yeah,
entiendes?
that's
So
that's
it's one of those
genetics.
where
That's fibers. That's just
it's
fibers.
and they call him the freak. He had some crazy mechanics, and it's just. I mean, I think he lasted a decade. Was a Cy Young winner maybe twice or 3 times in his career, and world champ with the Giants. I mean, it depends, man, and it's hard. You can't teach kids the velocity aspect of it all the time. Yes, some of them can. Some of them can and will learn it. I know, for example, my brother growing up through the whole Boys and Girls Youth Club, Select Ball, he was a stud, dude. He was a stud and much better of a ball player than I was. Pitcher, he was a pitcher before I became a pitcher. And we all knew that he was going to be able to play at the next level and things like that. He was advanced with pitching, but he stayed short. Throughout high school. He's I think a sophomore, maybe about 5'4", 5'3", 5'4". Looked like a little Hollister model with long blonde hair. He's like a dirty blonde, blue eyes. Dices tú, ¿y este de dónde salió? You know, but he's out there and he's competing in baseball, pero está chiquito.
Yeah.
And then he hits a growth spurt. And one of the guys that saw that in him was Payo, actually. And Payo said, he's like, este se va a estirar. Look at his long arms. His arms were lower than his knees. Decía que he's got long. He's gonna grow.
I've had those conversations with him. We study the human body like that. Like there's certain traits. That you can tell you.
So he said, "Vamos a trabajar con él," and he started working with him. And of course, está chiquito and everything. And so my brother's a competitor. Had really good pitches. Was lacking velocity because of his size. Se estiró. Grew like 4 inches in a month, starting his junior year, and it was like, okay, so he starts seeing a little bit more. His senior year, he's throwing 88 miles an hour. It was a 1-2 combination there at La Jolla, 2011. They were both throwing 88, the 1 and 2 pitchers, and he gets a chance to play at Pan Am with me. Had some situation with the coach, and he didn't take the criticism like I did, and he said, you know what, I'm done. I'm not going to play. I'm not going to deal with it.
Yeah.
So that was him, but he was a kid who went from, I don't know, 74 to 88 his senior year, and a lot of it had to do with his growth spurt. He matured, he grew into it, and he was a much better pitcher than I was. His off speed, his curveball, he had a curveball, I didn't. His changeup was net. I mean, the kid had all the stuff to be able to be successful at the next level. But it was his choice not to, and that's what happens a lot of the times.
Yeah. So the reason I was asking you about these development and the freshman, the sophomore, get them ready for the junior, the senior year, and of course, as long as they're responsible enough to put in the work and make sure they go through the weight reads and go train on their free time or in the off season. how do you deal with, or what would you tell parents when they have their juniors and seniors that a freshman or sophomore is more talented than them? Like me as a parent, like if you're gonna tell me, like, well, what do you tell me? Like, I spent a lot of money on my kid, and you're gonna tell me that he's not that great. Like, is that hard? How
This is
difficult is that?
this is the part where I look to my right and I say, Flores, te hablan. No, I'm kidding. No, 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 I'm kidding, man.
I
Órale,
mean,
Flo.
it's gotta be tough. It's gotta
No,
be tough.
it's very tough. It's very tough. Sometimes the players or the parents don't see. They don't see
Mm.
beyond level of talent or level of play. Not talent, not so much talent, but level of play. They don't see beyond it. But it's like we tell them every year at the beginning of every meeting. That's one thing we try to overemphasize is um, it doesn't matter where you're at, what you do. You're getting evaluated every day in practice.
Mm.
You know, the parents might not be there every day in practice. Some of them do. Some of them go and they want to be there and they're very, very active. And they'll tell you straight out, you know, pues I saw it. Well, pero we evaluate them in practice. How's their attitude? How are they practicing? ¿Están echando ganas? Are they going through the motion? What is it? We evaluate them in the game. If they lose their spot, their starting role, that is our reasoning towards it. Okay, you know what? Hey, you're a junior, you're a senior, you lost it. This kid's up and coming. You don't look at echar ganas. This is me as an assistant coach, which is why it's good that I'm an assistant coach. I can say it. Uh, I would much rather waste my time or spend my time developing that kid who's a freshman, sophomore, que le está echando ganas, than to waste my time with a junior, senior who doesn't care anymore.
Yeah, it's gotta
I'm
be
going to give
tough.
the benefit of the
That's
doubt.
gotta be tough.
I'm going to give the
That's
benefit of
gotta
the
be tough.
doubt to who wants to help the team win. Because if you don't care about developing further and about it, you don't care about the team.
Yeah.
Your goals aren't there anymore. That's where you stay content with just being a high school athlete. We want to develop you further. We want to give you the experience, but that's where you get the big old rings, right, for
Yeah.
participating. No, man, hey, you got to compete, and it's hard. It's controversial because we coach at the high school level. Luckily, we don't have those cases. We actually had very few seniors. One senior last year, so that was really really good. And but or one senior who had been starting, you know, for the past couple of years or so. Pero it is a difficult situation. Sometimes it's hard to say, but sometimes parents have to evaluate children, evaluate them next to the other ball player who's in their position, and actually criticize in an unbiased fashion and say, okay,
Objectively, they gotta do it
is
objectively.
he better than my son or not, or is my son
Right.
better than them or not? You know,
Right.
and if you believe 100% your son is better, by all means, we got to keep our jobs. We don't perform, we don't win,
Right.
we lose our jobs. We're gonna do what we feel is best for the team. It gets tough, and I'll always tell Flo whenever he has to have a meeting with somebody, I don't mind being there. I don't mind being there because I know it's tough. If he has to say something that might not be pleasant to the ear,
To
or
the
something the
parents.
parent doesn't want to hear, but we haven't had that issue.
It's
Luckily,
rare. Yeah.
yeah, we haven't
I
had
got
that
you.
issue, and thankfully we haven't because it is tough. But you will come across it, and you see it a lot more in the younger levels, the
So
younger age categories.
yeah. So for you and all the experience you have, what would you tell a parent that, for example, me? I mean, these are all soccer posters. And my thing is, I'm a basketball guy. Like, if you want me to, like, my best coaching gig is I'm going to coach basketball. Like, I can make sure your son's going to be ready.
Mm-hmm.
These posters are only up here because when my son walks in here, oh, my dad likes soccer. I need to like soccer. Because he's going to be 5'8". There's no way I'm going to. And Payos told me, hey, put it in Major League. Because he actually likes baseball. I've never taught him how to do
Yeah.
baseball. I've never taught him how to do signals. And he throws me signals. I'm like, I've never taught you that. He's pretty good,
He
right?
likes it, yeah.
Yeah, he likes it. I'm like, hey, boy, get that bat out of your hand. No le digo eso, ¿verdad? But in my mind, I'm like, no, bro, you got to do soccer. But as a parent, what do you tell a parent to make sure that they're doing everything correct to get them ready? That for like a parent, like I'm starting here. I want my son to play soccer, so I want all the best advice I can get for soccer. What kind of best advice you give your parents to get their kids ready for baseball?
Let them experience. If they, like in your case, if your son one day develops and is a good ball player, baseball player,
Oh,
a
I'll let
lot
him
of
play
it,
baseball. I'll let him
that's
play
what I'm saying.
baseball.
A lot of it is going to be because he's playing soccer right now. He's playing basketball. He's running. He's doing just the track drills, playing some football maybe. All of that will All of that will take a part in, I guess, developing who they're going to become. Same thing if he plays baseball now, basketball, and he wants to play soccer. All of that is going to help with development. They all correlate one way or
Right.
another. I know football and track are hand in hand, and that is obviously where it's at athletically. At the next level, at the college level, you see if you either played football, you ran a track, and if you're either going to play football or run track based off of where you're at. If you're going to the next level, at least that's where I've seen the connection. And they want the football guys to run track because you want to build speed, strength, here, there, the workouts. Let them play is gonna be my thing for baseball. Man, we grew up outdoors, bro. You just grew up doing everything and anything. I remember it was even hard sometimes finding a partner to catch with. My brother was younger than I was. I threw a little bit harder, so he would get mad, man. Se enojaba, me aventaba el guante y me decía, ya no voy a jugar contigo. Because I would try to say, he would say, you better not throw hard. I'll play catch, but you better not throw hard. He said,
Yeah.
pues, come on, man, I'm helping you too. If I throw
Yeah.
harder, you're going to be better. Y el vato, no, you're not going to throw hard. Le tiraba, ya, that I'd say, ya, ya no tarda para tronar. Le tiraba una dura. I already told you, me decía. No, pues, relax, okay, I won't do it again. Y le tiraba otra y pum, me aventaba el guante y arrancaba para adentro. Ya no voy a jugar.
Yeah.
And he would let the ball go. Y decía yo, hey, ahí voy yo atrás de la pelota. Pues ya ni modo.
I've talked to, it's because the reason I asked you that question, and I think parents need to hear it, is I understand the culture of baseball. Not just in our area, like in the whole valley. Like baseball's big in our culture, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Hispanic culture, Altuve, we're short. Altuve, if Altuve can do it, we can do it.
He's another
My
animal.
right. It's a very special, very special. It's probably juicing up. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. I'm just messing around. Please, Major League, don't quote me on that. YouTube, this goes up on YouTube. Hey, JK. My biggest thing is the conversation I've had is because for parents not to focus so much on baseball growing up, is try to make them as athletic as possible before they get to, because most baseball parents or baseball athletes are going to specialize in high school.
Yes.
That's just the way it is. Make them as
Even
athletic as possible before they get to that specialization period.
yes, I agree. And I didn't learn that until much later. So I was already my second year in pro ball, indie ball, when I was playing out in Ohio and I came back to New Mexico and all that. And I get thrown that question of, have you ever been hurt? Well, yeah, my sophomore year in college, I got tendonitis and I was down for pretty much a whole year on and off.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Why do you think, did you ever feel hurt in high school? Never. Why? I don't know. I felt great every single time. Your arm never hurt? Never. My routine in high school, Rudy, my pregame routine, and I would pick my poison. I would pick who was going to help me get better. And there was two guys that threw a lot harder than us, Lupe Lopez and Miguel Peña. Lupe, ese estaba, ¿qué onda? ¿Qué? Le tiras algo mal y te iba a brincar. So you might have some good days, you might not. Mickey was a lot more poised, controlled, more professional when it came to, and when Yuki was going to go to the next level, Lupe would have made it to the next level. I think he had some arm issues or something, but I would always try to throw with Mickey any chance I had. And for me, it was, I know this guy's better than I am. I know he is. He throws harder than I am. He was the ace as a freshman for La Jolla baseball, tore it up every single year, all-stater, newcomer of the year. Hizo the MVP, todo el show. For me, is okay, I'm going to work with that guy. So our pregame routine was long tossing, man. We long tossed before playing a game. This was days that Mickey didn't pitch in, his off days. So we would long toss from the foul pole, from the foul line to the scoreboard in La Jolla, which is a little bit past center field
Yeah.
at an angle, and we wouldn't come in until Mickey crossed the fence, because I would always take it to a scoreboard. I like taking it out. So he would cross the fence, and then he would get another ball, and then we'd bring it back in a line hard. That was our pregame routine, and we're throwing it as hard as we can before a game.
Yeah.
O sea, you look at that now. You tell a player to do that now, no van a tener mucho brazo para el juego.
Yeah.
Their conditioning isn't going to be there. Their arm, they're no van a estar ahí. They're going to be tired. I mean, no, man, there was no way. We can get them there, yes, and I want to get them there, because to me that helped. So me dijo, okay, you long tossed before a game. You felt fantastic before a game. What happened in college that was different than high school was I became a pitcher only. So I stopped hitting. I stopped running the way I did. I stopped the certain exercises that you focus on when you're hitting.
Right.
And I became a PO, and now you're only doing pitcher only stuff. So I think, based off of what I was told, is that could have correlated and caused some sort of injury, because you're losing athleticism. You have to be athletic as great. You have to be very athletic to be a pitcher. Your body is moving in a very unorthodox manner. You do have to be athletic, but you're losing on certain skills that you had prior with swinging a bat and pitching correlates a lot. But you're losing skills, man. And so what happened when I was getting ready to go out to play that second year pro ball is I got a bat and I started hitting off a tee.
Oh, okay. Just
And
to have some movement.
To have that movement. And I wouldn't just hit righty. I would go lefty too, even though my swing was horrible. I would swing righty, I would swing lefty. And then there's a radar gun. And you're measuring, how hard am I hitting this baseball off the tee? So the ball is stagnant on the tee. Your job is to smack it back at that fence in the cage as hard as you can. You have a radar measuring how hard you hit it. ¿Me entiendes?
Yeah.
Big leaguers are 98 plus.
Damn.
¿Me entiendes? 98, 105, 106. If you're up there complete, I was like at 93. ¿Me entiendes? But I wasn't a hitter. I wasn't a hitter anymore. I was a PO. I had been a PO for almost 6 years at this point.
Yeah.
So I started working with that every day. Remember, the Coyotes came back out. I had already lost everything. They all came back out. So I'm hitting, trying to work on something different, working on becoming more of an all-around athlete in baseball. So it all plays a big part. The children need to play. They need to experience different skills. They need to experience different games, different levels of play. Baseball, they need to. That's why I can't hold my pitchers from hitting, because it does correlate with what I need them to do to get them stronger and stuff. And they're going to hit in the game. They're going to hit. And so I need them to be able to hit if we want them to. He needs to help himself out on the mound. So it's one of those. But yes, I think it's very, very important that kids are multi-sport players. There's a lot of different skills to be developed, and that can be developed. And the parents need to be open to that, because that will be the difference. You can focus on baseball and baseball only, and your kid will be good. ¿Me entiendes? But sooner or later, that kid that was a multi-sport athlete might come y lo va a sobrepasar.
Yeah.
Lo va a sobrepasar.
I would say, especially if they're really, really close in level, the multi-sport athlete will beat them out because of all the things. And that's a big argument we have. Not an argument. It's more of a discussion and going back and forth and what you think and philosophies with different people around the area with that. Yeah. Of course, like I said, I'm not a big baseball guy. The biggest baseball drawback I have is that I personally don't like is when I see kids that could be more athletic and aren't as athletic because they specialize too early. Yeah. I think they shouldn't start specializing until maybe sophomore, junior year, especially the talent that, we've seen in the area. So you got that for parents. What kind of for your athletes? You spoke about that earlier. Make sure that they have that focus. And what about coaches? What kind of advice do you give the new coaches or a guy like me? Just coaches in general for baseball.
As educators, you're always working on professional development. ¿Me entiendes? And that's one thing we focus on. You have to get your professional development. How can you adapt to what's new right now with the pandemic? We're going to go through a new style of teaching. You have to develop yourself professionally continuously
Yeah.
to continue adapting to what's new. I mean, there's a lot of program baseball wise. There's a lot of programs out there that if you just jump into them without any knowledge or prior knowledge or actually going to that training and learning, you're gonna come back and you're gonna cause an injury. Same thing for another sport. Look up the videos. Look up some of the top tier trainers that are out there.
Yeah.
Get the development that we need to continue advancing and adapting. And right now, I've seen a lot of athletes from the Valley going to college or bigger colleges than we have in the past. And that's really good.
Yeah,
that's
that's
really
awesome.
big. I mean, we take pride in that. I know I saw a comment from Alan Montalvo or a post that he made, that hey, a lot of athletes, a lot of Valley athletes getting out there, putting us on the map or something like that. I don't want to, I'm not quoting him exactly, but something along those lines. And that's good. That's true. I feel the exact same way. It gives you that, I guess, for me, for him, for those of us who experience playing at the next level, it's, I guess you're happy for these kids, man. I want them all to experience what I did and more. I didn't get to the big leagues. I want them to get there and tell me how it was, how their experience was. I want that from them, and I'm not gonna take no credit if I coach them. That's on them, bro. That's what I tell them.
Yeah.
It's on them. It's
you
up
just
to
have to
them.
guide and teach a little bit, and they take it from there.
That's it. If they don't take what you're teaching, there's only so much you can do. But coaches need to continue developing. Don't get closed-minded, man. I cannot get. If I were to be closed-minded and I don't take your criticism, or I don't take something that you might know for basketball, and maybe I can use that for baseball.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a skill that I can. Oh shoot, maybe I can use that over here. If I'm closed-minded, I'll never think. It's my way. That's it.
Yeah.
And then you stay where you're at, and the level of play will stay the same, and the Valley will not go where it needs to go.
Yeah.
I mean, if we don't go 3-4 rounds deep, like everybody's expecting us to go, then who's to blame? The kids or us?
Pues ya sabemos.
¿Entiendes? That's where it's at. So we have to find a way to help these kids excel. We got two arms that are 90 miles an hour.
Man.
To find that in the Valley is extremely hard. You go to San Antonio, that's normal. But
I throw 45, I think.
45. Te saco la 45. It's when you have two arms that are 90. Yeah, you're looking 3-4 rounds deep. If we don't make it, it's on us. We did something wrong. Maybe sometimes the kids had a bad game. They don't have the experience, but right now we're not at a point where they don't have experience. They got the experience.
They have the experience.
They got the experience, and that's an expectation at this point.
You know what I
to get there.
Yeah, for sure. You know what I tell some of my guys sometimes, especially when I was at over at JD and I had these all soccer guys and they're all soccer.
Mm-hmm.
I would tell them, well, I expect my tickets on will call.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, huh? I was like, will call. Do you know what will call is? They're like, no, ¿qué es eso? Will call is when I go watch you play in the pros, I need you to put my name with 3 tickets extra so I can go watch you.
Yeah.
And then, and I tell them, hey, I want and I think I've mentioned it to a few there. It's, hey, I expect my name on will call.
Yes.
Because now they're like, well, what does coach expect from me? I expect you to make it to the majors or the pros because I want to go watch you.
Yeah. Yeah, man. You're setting
It's got to feel great. It's got to feel great.
And they got something to look forward to. And it definitely is something great, man. The kids, they're a big talented bunch. We got to do what we can to help motivate them, give them that extra motivation. If they don't have it, who knows the situation they're in at home?
Yeah.
¿Entiendes? And that's what we don't understand sometimes, or we don't know, and we might get
frustrated. Oh, yeah. Now you're getting into the different factors.
Splurge and, órale, you know what? Vámonos a la línea. Let's go. We're going to go do some conditioning. And Flo will kind of look at me como, otra vez, pues, hey, come on, man. It's a little bit of una regañadita, pero it's still serving a purpose. It's not just because I'm upset. No, they need the conditioning.
Focus and condition.
They're going to learn something. They're going to know, yes, sir, no, sir. And they're going to go and they're going to get their conditioning in, which is having to do with the sport.
You know, it's funny because the track guy I had here, my buddy David Renee, talked about that. Hey, if we feel that you're not focused, hey, we're gonna keep grinding and harder until we know that you're focused.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. Hey, Wally, great having you, man. I really appreciate it. Great insight, great experience you went through. I hope a lot of athletes watch this so they understand what it takes. And even if you go through all that grind, sometimes you don't make it. But no matter what, you never quit,
Never
and you
quit.
keep grinding until until it comes to the end, and the end might be the majors.
That's
You
right.
know,
That's right,
so
Rudy.
we
Thank
never
you
know,
so
man.
much, man. I appreciate the opportunity. I know that I've been watching your videos, and they're really, really hidden out there. A lot of really good insight. So for the parents, for the athletes, I recommend these things, man. And if you don't find nothing good in what I said, the other guys had some really, really great stuff. So thank you again, man, for having me, and keep doing what you're doing, big dog.
All right, thank you, man. Have a good night,
Rudy,
bro.
have a good one.
Bye. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Wally Barrera, man. Me and that guy, when we start talking, I mean, we go at it, and we didn't even touch base on that today. Today was more about the baseball experience. I'm a big guy that is a basketball, football guy. I wanted to bring him on to share about baseball. I'm glad he did share his experience. I mean, I didn't know half of the stuff that he went through. He had mentioned a few things, but it's the purpose of the show is to learn from all kinds of people, their experiences, their perspective, their points of views, share some knowledge so we all learn as a whole here in the area, state of Texas, the valley, west of Inspiration, whatever it may be. So with that, you guys have a good night. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Take it easy. This today's broadcast. Hold on. Not yet. Today's broadcast was brought to you by Mendez Sports Training and a little bit of For Life Together Building People. You guys have a good night.